Good evening and welcome to Jam TV, show number 117. And welcome to Jam TV. Oh wait, this is the Weather Center Ed Open. Oh God, I blew it.
Oops.
How you guys doing?
Oh, well, I feel kind of bad. I missed the memo on the Hawaiian
You
shirt
missed the
thing,
cigar
and so-
tie memo.
and
See,
so
this
it's,
is
you know,
cigars
well,
on
that's
it.
Wow. Oh, that very news-like. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Tonight's
exactly.
news.
I
Cuban
didn't have
cigars.
time for
Yeah.
French cuffs. I signed on. I saw Bill Nolan with the Hawaiian shirt. I'm like, this will not stand.
Well, I'm very proud of wearing the glasses. I feel like I'm smarter just
The
by wearing
glasses.
them.
Everybody had the glasses a minute ago. The glasses
Yeah.
memo.
I had the glasses a minute ago, and you had a Hawaiian shirt. So
Yeah.
there you go.
That's a lie. Clearly.
And I was going to actually, while you were changing, I was going to change into a Hawaiian shirt. So,
I was hoping.
it's like a costume change, like Saturday Night Live. They have
That's
to
the kind of
instantly
work-
change costumes,
It's fair to say I have not worn a tie in at least 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know if I know how to tie one.
Yeah, this comes from boarding school. I went to boarding school. We had school on Saturday morning, and we wore coat and tie to school. And I could tie a tie with button downs in 30 seconds because, you're in class and you don't have your tie on, and you're just going to get punished, and you got to, there it is,
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. When I was, in my 20s working in New York, your tie was like the coolest thing. That was the only thing you could play with because, suits are suits, the colors or whatever. And so I would always make sure I got my knot just right with a little.
Ties are power, you have an Hermes tie or you have some real.
Exactly. Yeah. So now it's gone. I mean, you can't do you can't do that. You have to wear pants and.
I'm not wearing pants. I'm not wearing pants.
I was afraid you were going to do that. I was afraid.
I haven't worn pants in 2 years. So
yeah, none of us are wearing pants on the show. We never have for 100.
Yeah,
shows,
I remember I was doing business with General Electric, and I show up to meet with some senior people, and I show up in my tie, my shirt, suit and tie, and my cross pant, whatever the hell, my Rolex and everything, all the things, the executive accoutrements. And they say, "Oh, we're sorry. I guess you missed the memo." I said, "Well, excuse me." And they said, "Oh, our facility is now business casual."
Ooh.
And this was like 99, and I was like, "What's business casual?" And they said, "Yeah, you can wear a collared shirt, but you can't wear a tie or a jacket." And we said, "No, we don't mind. We can wear. We have these. We don't mind." They're like, "No, you don't want to make anybody uncomfortable." I was like, "What?" I'm like, "That's it. My career is over. I can't intimidate people with my accoutrements."
Yeah. And by the way, Bill had an accident over the weekend and lost his ability to speak. So he's just going to sing, but he can't speak.
No, I mean, I'm shooting my mouth off most of the time on these things, so I thought it was sort of interesting. But I do have one funny thing that both has shirts, ties, and advertising. And
Okay.
somewhere I have a Polaroid. I'll have to find it, but it's really funny. I worked at this agency called Bloom in New York, and we used to after hours we used to stay there and play these computer tank games in different offices, and it was really kind of fun. But one day we all show up for work. We're all wearing black pants, probably pleated, black pants.
Oh, yeah,
The
please.
shirt was everybody had a shirt that was denim-ish, like blue, and everybody had kind of a loud tie. And so somebody took a Polaroid of this, and I had captioned underneath of it, "Welcome to Tribeca Grill. We will be your waiters tonight."
Right.
Because basically, in the super creative world of advertising, we all dressed exactly the fucking same, and it was really funny.
It's like
with
Mad
the
Men.
obligatory, bad ponytail during certain years, and
Okay, that was it's. I wondered when you mentioned that the agency was called Boom. That's kind of different from the name, and name.
Who owned
Yeah.
Boom?
Classic,
Let me guess.
Like
Saatchi
Boom,
and Saatchi, Dancer Fitzgerald Sample owned Boom, right? Who's Boom?
It was Bloom. It was some guy named Bloom.
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 And,
Oh,
and he was
there
he
you
was
go.
out of
Okay.
Texas. He was out of Texas,
Yes.
and he had and he merged with some French agency. So that's the only thing that made us even partially cool. Because if you're just from Texas, you're not the coolest unless you're
So you had to
unless
say
you're
it in
music.
French.
You know.
Yeah.
So you had to
yeah.
say Bloom in French. Bloom. Bloom.
Bloom. Yes.
Yeah.
It's, welcome to Bloom. May I help you? Yeah.
My God, I got to get out of this friggin' monkey suit. Play a song, Bill Dalton. Save us.
All right, Ed.
Our favorite pumpkin.
I'm Jeremiah Dixon. I am a Geordie boy. A glass of wine with you, sir, and the ladies I'll enjoy. All Durham and Northumberland is measured up by my own hand. It was my fate from birth to make my mark upon the earth. He calls me Charlie Mason, a stargazer, and I seems that I was born to chart the evening sky. They cut me out for bread, but I had other dreams instead. This baker's boy from the West Country would join the Royal Society. We are sailing to Philadelphia, a world away from the coldy time. Sailing from Philadelphia to fill the line. The Mason-Dixon line. Now you're good, Surveyor Dixon, but I swear you'll make me mad. The West will kill us both, you gullible Geordie lad. You talk of liberty, how can America be free? A Geordie and a baker's boy in the forests of the Iroquois. Now hold your head up, Mason, see America lies there. The morning tide has raised the capes of Delaware. Come up and feel the sun, a new morning has begun. Another day will make it clear why your stars should guide us here. 'Cause we are sailing Philadelphia, world away from the coldy time. Sailing to Philadelphia to draw the line. The Mason-Dixon line. We are sailing to Philadelphia, a world away from the coldy time. Sailing to Philadelphia to draw that line. The Mason-Dixon line. The Mason-Dixon line.
Wow.
Very nice.
That was I've I mean, I've missed some shows, but if you figure there's been 100 shows that I've been here, that means I've heard you sing 400 songs. And that's my favorite song I've heard you sing
Yeah,
and play.
fantastic.
It's just beautiful. The guitar, the whole thing, the lyrics. Was born to.
It's such
start
a,
in
I
Evening
mean,
Sky. Wow.
it's such a perfect storm of two people, and I'm not one of them, but Mark Knopfler and James Taylor
Wow. No
did
wonder.
the original of that,
Right.
and I think maybe Mark Knopfler wrote it, but it sounds like a James Taylor song too. It's hard to say, but
What's
I love
the
a good
name?
historical song, and that's of course about Mason and Dixon. You know?
So is it called Mason Dixon?
Yeah. Well, it's called Sailing to Philadelphia,
Okay.
but it is about Mason and Dixon, who were from Liverpool, and one of them was from Liverpool, and you know, funny story. I wasn't there then, but I heard it was funny anyway.
Well, there's no way I'm going to follow that song. I'm sorry. I'm out. Black screen. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That was really great.
Don't worry. I'll lower the bar on the next one. Don't
Oh,
worry.
good. I always appreciate it when you do that. Yeah.
Exactly. What in the world are you drinking?
Well, as is my wont, I time sort of slipped away on me a little bit,
Ah,
and I didn't get a chance to go
no
down and
time for tequila.
get my normal libation. But this is what I drink, like I don't know how many of the. This is a lenticular cup of my favorite football team, the Minnesota Vikings, that I actually got in Minneapolis, and I've got it like 4 of them, and I just load them up with water and a couple of ice cubes, and I just drink this all day.
Survival at the beach.
Where I would not survive is a place that didn't have water. I would not survive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It'd be true for
How
most of us.
how are you surviving at the beach with this the heat wave?
Oh God, in Rowayton. Yeah.
well, it's been funny because today there was actually a little bit of a breeze, and it wasn't as terrible. I did actually though. I took a friend of mine to the airport to LaGuardia, and I got caught coming back over the Whitestone Bridge with a storm that maybe hit Philly. I mean, maybe hit Pennsylvania, but it didn't hit like Rowayton. And this was one of those storms where it rained so quickly that the Hutchinson was like flooded in seconds. People were driving like 10 miles an hour down the middle lane only, except for me, because it's like, fuck it. Is that why you bought an SUV? That's why you bought an SUV, so you can drive like that, you pussy. But anyway, I'm like bombing through this stuff, but literally you could see about 12 feet in front of you, and it was completely crazy. Lightning, thunder, rain, everything. And when I got back to Rowayton, I could tell just from looking at the street that there hadn't dropped, one raindrop. And
Yeah.
and they were all talking like, "Is it coming? Is it coming?" And I said, "No, it's not. See Long Island? I just went through that, and that's where it is. It's south of here." And
I got nothing. I was at the pool, so I missed it all.
I saw that pool. That was a hell of a thing. Randy Stone, how are you doing, man?
Hey guys,
Yeah. That's
How
a
you
good
doing? You're
place
early.
to go, hey,
I know.
Randy.
one of those nights I'm not gigging, I'm not practicing, I'm not doing anything, so I'm gonna bomb on in here.
Fantastic.
That's great. You can come and do nothing with us.
I thought you had a tie on like seconds
It's
ago.
it's called the Mandela effect, where you have your memories don't quite match the actual reality of the world.
Actually, being on this show is like the Stockholm syndrome, really, as much as the Mandela effect.
Stockholm, West Virginia. Yes, exactly.
How are you guys?
Good. How you doing?
It's been too long. I haven't been on this thing forever.
Yeah, we've missed you.
You've
I
been too
heard you had a
busy.
great gig last night that
How could you
attend.
not miss me? Of course, yes.
I heard you had a great
could you
gig
not
last
miss
night, Randy Stone.
We did. It was very
How did it go?
fun.
Tell us about it.
I mean, it was the girls, the three girls, Kim Crowder and Prue O'Brien and Linda Kutras, and all of us guys in the back on the world's hottest night. Everybody brought a fan, and there's lots of jokes around that. But anyway, we actually did bring physical fans, and you know what? It turned out to be fine. Once the sun started to set, it cooled off, and we actually had a crowd. I couldn't believe it. I thought we'd be playing to 4 people because it was so fucking hot.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was fun. It was a great time.
That's awesome.
It's great. Worked out. Yeah, suddenly, buying a canopy, for gigs. It seems as if more gigs are happening
Well, this
outdoors.
was
No,
actually,
not
Will,
gonna-
to your point, this was a gazebo gig. So we were in a gazebo.
Oh, so you
but
already.
I've talked to a couple of bandmates in some of the other bands I'm in. I'm like, if we each threw in like $20, we could buy a fucking canopy and not be fried eggs on the pavement here.
Right.
The
And also
problem
your
with that
gear won't get
gazebo
destroyed.
in Fairfield is that you'd have to build it like not like this. You'd have to build it like this because the sun is here and it
Yeah,
shines
yeah,
in
yeah.
and it kills you no matter what happens
Yeah,
at
yeah.
gig time. So,
So I,
At
I, had a
noon.
gig, I had a gig. I guess it was last Friday, and it was at Woodway Country Club, Woodway Beach Club. It's the beach part of the Woodway Club, which also has a golf part. But this is the beach part, and I played there before. I played there inside and outside. The outside thing is brutality. It's like freaking. It's like the Death March of Bataan. They put you on this square
It's pretty extreme,
black
though.
astroturf stage. It's black astroturf. It's almost like
no.
how hot can we make it? And
Yeah.
it's like that. And you're facing, the shaded backside of their clubhouse, and everybody's sort of al fresco eating shrimp cocktail while you're sitting there ready to
Right.
give up the names of your collaborators and the rebel camp
Yeah,
and
that's
everything
right.
else, and it's like,
Yeah.
you're just standing there. And so I'm sitting there, and I brought a fan. I brought this giant bottle of water. I had a hat. I was ready for anything. And a guy comes up to me. They have nice waiters there, and the waiter comes up and he says, "Do you want to use the umbrella?" And I look, and next to me is this umbrella, and I say, "Sure." Yeah, why not? Umbrella. This thing was like the umbrella of umbrellas. It was like it cranked up like this thing, and then like when it clicked into place, it was like. It was like
Like
all
a Mercedes,
four
like
knobs.
closing the door on a Mercedes. Yeah.
It was unbelievable. And then it rotated. I mean, the counterweight on it was
Yeah, the
probably
ones that can do that, and then you can do this with it.
the
Yeah.
counterweight was like 4x4 by like 8, and it looked like it weighed a ton, and it would have to allow this thing. And they slid it around. It went over my speakers, went in front of me, and suddenly it was like the most pleasant freaking thing
It's amazing.
ever. Like,
Yes.
it was so effective. It was like
We've
crazy.
all been there. It's like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Now I can play. Yeah.
Oh my God! I was just
So where's this fancy club? You're not talking about Waveney. I'm sorry, not
no.
Waveney.
Woodway Club is out. It's out on Chopin.
Yeah,
You know,
they have
there's
their
that-
own.
There's
yeah.
that area of Chopin where there's some really nice houses and
Oh yeah. I played the Stanford Yacht Club there.
sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. It was like that, Ed. Thank God the check was like that too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they pay well. Like
Yeah,
this place,
yeah.
they pay really well. And the sand, because I work at Rowayton's Beach, where, it's the difference between sand and dirt is basically a shoreline. So, this sand, literally, I think comes from Bermuda. I think they ship it in, and
They truck
and,
it in.
It's Pompeii.
there's a lot of people
it's,
that bitch.
it's from Pompeii. It's volcanic ash, and there are little bits of the people who died in the
Black
volcano.
sand.
It was
Black
like,
sand beach.
I mean, people
Fairfield.
bitch about the sand all the time, and I just explained to them, it costs you $25 for a beach card. Shut up.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's like, you want to pay like 120 grand, for dues at some place?
Right.
Then you deserve some sand. Go for it.
I just played in your neighborhood, Bill, at that Roten Point Boat Club.
Oh yeah, I saw the. I think I saw
Nice.
this thing, and I commented on it.
Yeah.
Great place to gig, right?
Hell yeah! I was like, damn, this is like great Gatsby stuff.
Yeah. When I bring, I used to play there. I'm not playing there this year, and it's the first time I haven't played there in a long time. So I guess I'm
Really?
out now. But I used to play there either with with a full band or whatever. And the band was what we used to call the Cosmopolitans, and we would it'd be guys from New York and stuff, and I'd bring them out, and everybody would be like, oh shit, man, this is
Yeah.
good. And they paid too. They paid pretty good. Not
They did. And more
Like-
importantly for me, they spotted me in the parking lot as I was putting my gear on my stupid little luggage cart, and they sent a dude out with a golf cart and
That's
put all my
nice.
gear in it and hauled my ass right to the stage front. I'm like,
Yes. Yep.
That's the way to do it.
they were very nice people, and it turned out it was a white party. We all had to wear white.
Yeah,
And
which is a redundancy actually.
Oh,
Roden Point.
absolutely. Yeah, there was. I mean, maybe there was a server or two that had a tan, but
Yeah.
we were,
tan is
we
probably
were
about as
easily,
far as
we
they
were
went with that.
easily twice as old as everybody there.
So
It was all
is this
young
the one
people.
that's behind Wilson Cove? Is that where it is?
No,
I have
this is
no idea
this is
where
the one that's
fuck I
literally.
was.
I mean,
You'll
literally,
say.
it's Weeburn, Bailey Beach,
Right.
and Roten Point. They're like
Right.
three things in a row right there. So right next to Rub Point, that's where I work. Is right next to it. That's where Bailey Beach, and then right next to us is Weburn, which to my great joy, they do spend the big bucks to basically share the same piece of shit beach that we have. You know, so.
Well, I think so. When we were done, I was packing up and they shuttled my ass down to my car in the parking lot, and it was dark and it was quiet, and there was a band right next door, which must be the beach you're talking about.
And so was this on a Sunday? Were you there on a Sunday?
No, it was a Saturday. Yeah, and
so that must be a Weburn. That was a Weburn then, you know.
I don't know. It was very close. I could really hear everything.
Yep.
And they were a Dead cover band, and I'm not the world's biggest Dead fan, but these guys, I have to say, they were fucking good. Like the harmonies, they clearly had some female singers in there. I was like, I don't like the Dead, but these guys are fucking good. They were
good. Work is good work, no matter what it is.
Exactly. The groove was there. The rhythm section was tight, and the chicks singing against. I was impressed.
No, but like opera. Like, I'm not an opera fan, but go to the opera and then say you're not an opera fan. Like, it's like, what? You know, you go see a ballet, you're like, ballet? That's boring. Go to the ballet, you'll be like, what?
I got tickets one time, took my wife, this is like 20 years ago, at the Met. We're walking in. As we're walking in, the guy's like, tickets? You got tickets? You got tickets? Want to sell tickets? I'm like, oh, what? What is this, the Rolling Stones?
You're who wants two for La Traviata? Who wants two?
So I get there. We get in our seats. I got one of those upper side things, and I'm ready to go to sleep, frankly. We've been, and I hear this voice like, it was fucking Pavarotti. I had no idea I was seeing Pavarotti. No wonder people were trying to scalp tickets for
Right, there it is.
Oh, wow.
So I've seen Pavarotti.
Well, it's funny hearing you guys talk about the country clubs and their pools. You talk about them from a musician standpoint. I think of it from when I was in Fairfield County, when I was doing EMS, when I wasn't, I was the singing medic at gmail.com, but I was doing the medic thing. And so I think of all the calls I had at these places. And it's stuff like the bride who, there's no privacy stuff here. I'm changing some of the facts, but the bride who had the allergic reaction to shellfish. So should she go to the hospital? It's her wedding, you know. Oh, God. She's the bride, and I'm like taking lung sounds like on a wedding dress, you know. Or there were a couple of college girls who decided to do a contest to see who could swim the furthest back and forth in the pool underwater, right? and
they were liquored up,
and they're like watching. Well, it's right in the middle of the day. I don't know why someone didn't stop them, but anyway. So the girls are like, you know, they're doing their little thing, and the third girl goes, and these are young women, and they're watching her swim, right? And then she starts slowing down, and then she kind of stops.
Oh no!
And they're like, go, yeah, she's.
She'll be fine.
So we get there, and, we get there, like, can you tell me what happened? You know, yeah, we did something really stupid. So I think of it as from a different, you know, angle.
I bet you saw some stuff, yeah.
You know,
I did, but there's a lot of fun. I mean, there's a lot of fun and very cool and redeeming stuff in EMS, particularly in a town like Darien, for example, where
the country club music scene. When I was a kid, you know, when there were, you know, bands that were high school bands and even sometimes, you know, middle school bands or junior high school bands, as I call them, you actually could get gigs at country clubs because you know, it was such a novelty. You know, it was kind of like they were all the adults were kind of amused by kids playing instruments, and you know, the Beatles were kind of a funny amusement thing. And you know, you could get gigs at, you know, Burning Tree in Greenwich when you were just like a barely functional like band that had like
you had electric guitar.
As long as you were, you know.
And they were all Stones, the Animals, and the Yardbirds, and that was it. Like you knew nothing else. You know, it's like, you know, it's changed now. Hell,
I'll bet. And what would you have played as a young lad? Play that song now.
Well,
nice segue.
I don't know if I had my shit together to play this song, because otherwise it would be a song from like one of the first 4 Rolling Stone albums. You know,
Michael rode the boat ashore.
No, like the first song I ever learned was Freight Train, you know, like Elizabeth Todd. Freight train going so fast, you know, like that thing. That was the first song I ever learned, I think, on the guitar. But that's not
that. Was all of us did. Yeah.
This is my favorite Who song, which is it's not really a typical Who song per se, except I I love the Who's pop period the best. I like them when they're like really a pop band, and I like their first album where they're more almost like a punk band. And I like them when they play live at Leeds. I mean, I like the Who a lot in general, except when they have 8 people in the group, or like, you know, there's only 2 guys still alive and they still call it
the Who. That's not
that.
the
I
Who.
don't care for it. You know, it's basically like nothing without Entwistle and Keith Moon.
It's the Roger and Pete show. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not for me. But anyway, this is one of my favorite Pete songs. La 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 la. So sad about us. So sad about us. Said, suppose the news is out now. Said, suppose we can't turn back now. Said about us. So bad about us. So bad about us. Bed, let the music stop now. Bed, suppose we can't turn back now. Bad about us. Apologies mean nothing. The damage is gone. But you can't switch off my loving like you can't switch off the song. La 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 la. So sad about us. So sad about us. Said never meant to break up. Said suppose we'll never make up. Said about us. Boy, I needed a tequila. I needed a tequila for that one, but I love
that
I
shit.
liked it. I was playing along.
I love
It was
that
fun.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pete, like there's 2 songs that are maybe my 2 favorite Who songs, and they're both kind of from the same period. The other one is called Tattoo.
I was just going to bring up Tattoo.
One of the
Seriously.
One of the best.
There is a video of Pete backstage in Miami, and he's warming up shirtless before he does a show, and he does Tattoo on an acoustic guitar, and it's spellbinding. He's so fucking good.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what? I'll send it to you on Messenger.
yeah. There's actually a
I'll
great
send it
version
to
of
all
him,
you smugs.
of him doing that song that I just did live with Paul Weller, who's also awesome from the Style Council from England. You know.
Yeah, Tattoo is the lyrics are a little goofy and all that stuff, but as a song, it's so pretty, and the guitar work is really good.
Yeah, and he's got the way he's, you know.
That's it. Yeah.
How does it? Yeah,
Can we start a Who cover band?
it's funny. He plays like, you know, he plays basically like it's like 2 minutes in a row. Yeah, man.
He's got a book on Audible that I listened to, and
Me and my brother were talking to each other.
About what makes a
What's a
man a man.
Is it brain or brawn or the year that you were born? You just didn't understand. Oh,
It's
man.
written by the guy on Fantasy Island, so
Yeah, yes.
The plane.
little known fact.
Boss.
And Ricardo Montalban. Yeah.
So, like, the hearings are starting. I'm going to leave soon. There is one of the witnesses is a stunningly pretty woman.
Oh,
This is why you think it should be investigated, is because
But if we're going to have a boring investigation on the destruction of our democracy,
well, that's true.
It's
Yeah.
nice that they've thrown in a very pretty girl.
Yeah, that is true. It's like, Ms. Robinson, could you please explain why you? It's like, could you get younger and speak faster, please?
Were you indeed trying to seduce him, Mrs. Robinson?
Right.
Boy, that was Anne Bancroft was hot in that movie, I have to say.
She was amazing. Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
back in the day.
every way. Yeah.
That scene with her leg like that, yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Hell yeah.
I
Hells
just
yeah.
loved Dustin Hoffman. I was like, Mrs. Robinson, I really don't think that this is a good idea. I just loved that whole persona.
He got over that. He thought it was a really cool idea in short order.
Yeah, well, that testosterone.
I love the scene of he was having those trysts with Mrs. Robinson there, and then when he brings Catherine Ross, who was also at that time,
Yeah.
when he brings her and all of the help are coming up and going, "Oh, hello, Mr. Gladstone.
I
Good to
love
see you,
that,
Mr.
yes.
Gladstone."
She's like, "What? Nice to see you again."
Alias.
that was the
He's
best
like-
political segue I have ever seen in my life. All right, so it starts like this, right? It starts like this. The hearings are on. I'm going to have to watch that because it's the demise of our democracy. But, there's a pretty girl, and then Mrs. Robinson, and then woo-hoo-hoo. And I was like,
Will
what's happening?
said something before that he's been on 100 of these shows, and I probably have too. And he'll take claim for doing incredibly beautiful, spot-on music, as has Bill. I will claim the guy who dragged this show into the gutter most consistently and most quickly of anybody. I brought this show to the gutter every fucking time.
But you
That's
did it
right.
in such a cool way.
That's right.
That's true.
It was very elegant.
Hearing.
Yeah, it was elegant.
I'll never forget hearing you use the F word as a noun when you had COVID, and you said, "So how are you?" And you said, "I feel like." And I was like, "A noun."
now
I've
you
never heard
can't say
use that way. So yeah, now I can't say it. Yeah, but
Are you
I'm
we not
wearing
allowed
glasses,
to swear
so
on
it would
Jam
be
TV anymore?
Incongruous.
What happened on Jam TV?
No, I'm asking. We're not allowed to say. Are we not allowed to do the F bomb on Jam TV? Is there a new rule change?
No, you
Fuck
have
no.
to say it.
No,
You can't
no.
say the F word on Jam TV,
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I'm
what
just,
the fuck?
yeah.
Yeah,
What the
okay.
fuck? Well, Baird.
We've said a lot worse than that.
I don't know.
If you are the gutter snipe of this thing, Randy, I think Will is the conscience of Jam.
You know what? Well put. Well put. I would agree with that.
That's a nice
David
compliment.
Robinson.
Thank you.
Sometimes, like,
The guy's not even on the
can't I be
freaking
like-
show.
Why can't
Yeah.
I be like thoughtful and erudite like Will and say
don't know.
something that lifts the conversation up? Like,
Yeah.
because I'm in the gutter. So anyway, you should see this chick in this white dress over here.
How do I see that? I don't know.
You
I
know
don't
what?
have
You'll
that
see
button.
all you guys will see the highlights tomorrow, and you'll know precisely what I'm talking about.
It's Sharon Stone, and she's sitting in the chair.
Yeah, kind of.
Being interviewed, yes,
I like it.
exactly.
The most
She
paused
claimed
moment in all of YouTube. That's
I
right.
know.
It's
Yeah.
true. All right,
They-
Bill Noman, play another song for us.
Okay. I don't know.
We're
what
going to
do
lose
here.
everybody to the hearing,
You're gonna lose me soon. Benny's up, so yeah.
Benny Hill?
The guy who
Uh,
runs the hearing.
Anthony Benny. Okay, I got it.
The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time. Anyone can do it. There ain't nothing to it. Nobody knows how we got to the top of the hill. But since we're only here for a while, Might as well show some style. The secret of love is opening up your heart. Okay to feel afraid. Don't let that stand in your way. 'Cause no one knows that love is the only road. And since we're only here for a while, we might as well show some style. Give us a smile. Isn't it a lovely ride? Whoa, it's sliding down, gliding down. Try not to fly too hard. It's just a lovely ride. The thing about time is that time isn't really real. Just your point of view. How does it feel for you? Einstein said he could never understand it all. Planets spinning through space, the smile upon your face. Welcome to the human race. Isn't it a lovely ride? Whoa, sliding down, gliding down. Try not to try so hard. It's just a lovely ride. Isn't it a lovely ride? Whoa, sliding down, gliding down. Try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time. Surprisingly optimistic in a way, in its own way.
It's a
Wow.
beautiful tune. It's a great tune.
Who is that?
James Taylor.
I think so.
Is it? I don't think I've heard it.
I've been toying with my daughter's getting married next summer,
Oh,
and
And you've
in
been
fact,
toying
in the
with
end
like
of
telling
the
her whether you
Roman
pay for it.
financial empire as we know it. It will be, I may play a couple. There's a song I always play for her that's a Jackson Brown, Warren Zevon thing. But I was just thinking that's kind of a sweet song to play at something like that. If the opportunity presented itself, I'm not going to force myself on it.
Right. Yeah.
But
I
But
would-
tonight-
that whole song reminded me of the Lennon line, life is what happens to you when you're busy making other plans. It's
Right.
beautiful.
Yeah.
right.
I had dinner with my son last night and his fiancée to talk about their wedding, and I said, "Now, you know what? For the rehearsal dinner, just tell me, is there anything that you don't want?" And Charlie said, "Yeah, please don't sing." And my whole family sings, and they're all, they all they're like the King family singers. So they, you get married to a Baird, and there's going to be all, and it intimidates everybody else. They're like, "I'm not going to sing anything now." It's like they're all singing, So
The
please,
whole
no singing.
marriage thing has become so, I for lack of a better word, I call it Kardashianized. It's like gotten into this thing where it's like you've got the ceremony, then you've got the pre-rehearsal drinks, then you've got the rehearsal, not the rehearsal, the reception, then you've got the post-reception drinks. Like, it's like, what the fuck, so you can use that word, what the.
That's
anyway,
right. We're allowed. We're allowed. Yeah.
It's just like it's never ending. It just keeps going on and on and on. It's like,
Yeah, and it starts earlier
and
too.
The rehearsal dinner, which back in the day it used to be like the people that are in the wedding party. Now it's like 120 people.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Oh
like,
boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
you
and
will,
also
right.
then you've got like the wedding shower, which is like the bridal shower, but now they let the guys come in. But then it's not really the bridal shower then, because you're not going to be giving lingerie to somebody.
That's a
Right,
other
yeah.
than the lingerie,
So-
that's like a mongrel event, if you ask me. Like
Yeah.
to me, that's just like the Jack and Jill stag. Like you used to hear like the Jack and Jill
Right.
stag. I'm like, what?
What is
terrible
that?
person came up with? It's like a stag with like men and women in it, and so obviously it's not really a stag. It's not
Well,
like
where's the strippers? What the
Jack
fuck?
on
That's
Jill.
right. That's
Jack
what I'm mad.
on
It's
Jill, not it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they did.
Jack
Well, this
and
was-
Jill. It's not Jack and Jill.
Well, and I didn't know what you're supposed to bring, because it's like, what do you bring? What for a gift? So I talked to
Purell.
3 different people. One said you bring a small gift. Another one said you get something from the registry. Another one said you're the father of the bride and the groom. You bring a check. You give
Yeah.
it to them. Now. So I brought all 3. And I kind of went and looked at the gift table and had all the little boxes. So I went out to the car and got the little box and put that on and kept the check. I'll use that for a while for other things, and then get the money from
someone
somewhere
told
else.
me, it's for the dad of the bride. It's all about the ups, like show up, shut up, and pay up. It's just
Yes.
That is
the
true.
rest of it is just sort of
There
whatever.
was a business partner of mine who he has twin daughters, bat mitzvah. They were doing it at Cobb's Mill, of all places, and they had the whole place rented. And it's just every day at work he was bitching about this expense and that expense. And he came in one day, he's like, and now they want more fancy flower settings on every table, and it's going to cost this much more. And his name's Neil, and I just looked
Hard
at
gift
like, Neil,
bags. Yeah.
shut up
Yeah.
and write the check because
Right,
nobody
right.
cares. Because nobody cares.
Right.
Now repeat after me. And he was like, I'm going to shut up and write the check because nobody cares. So shut
No,
up.
it's true. And
Yeah.
and we put a ceiling, we put a cap. Like we had a cap. And lest anyone think like we're cheapskates. The last time I had that kind of money going was
Yeah.
when I put a down payment on my home. So it's like we set a cap, and I just said to my wife, I said, honey, this is our future.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I
we will
wanted
do
to
this
say-
because I love my daughter to death. But
When we're
we will
eating
do this,
dog
but-
food, let's remember this moment when we're eating Alpo.
Yes. You can afford
Yeah,
Alpo?
exactly. For
Who
the
can
next
afford
10
Alpo?
years.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Fancy spancy with the Alpo. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right, doggy feast at Walmart.
Oh, look
That's
at you
about
with
it.
the Alpo, But meanwhile, I'm growling at my wife as she comes near my dish. I'm like, get away,
Well, I didn't want to pay for anything, even though I want to pay for stuff. But Baird is a Scottish name, and Scots are known for being cheap. So there's like the
Inscrutable
classic
Scots.
the classic joke, which is what's the difference between a Scotsman and a canoe? A canoe tips. So it's like a classic example. So I'm like, can we do it for less? Can we do that for less? Can we do this for less? And poor Charlie is like, no, Dad, she has to have a gown. We have to, and it's crazy. They're good kids, but there were other funny things that were said, but I can't say them. It's not fair to them.
there's also-
all of our kids are great kids.
There's also a lot of like the delineation between who pays for what isn't as hard as it used to be. Which is to say, it's good for the bride side because generally there's some chipping in from the other side sometimes.
Yes, that is true. There is tipping
Really?
in.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I've got
unfortunate to
this
hear.
guitar is actually going to be gone soon and replaced with a much smaller, crappier sounding one.
There it is.
My PA system is not going to be as large as it used to be.
No lights. Yeah. God. All right. Well, Baird, you said you have to book in about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I gotta
I'm
go watch
sorry.
the hearing, so I'm not gonna go till I hear Will play.
Oh,
There you
what
go.
a nice
Come on,
thing.
Will, play a song
Thanks.
for
All right. Well, they're doing construction outside, and it starts at 8:30. So that's
it. Not even a good reason,
I'm like hiding in. I mean, literally, that was what they did last night at 2 a.m. And I heard that they were. Well, they started doing it at 6:30. So I went outside and said, "When are you going to start?" Like they stopped, and I went, "Like when?" Basically, you know where I'm trying to say. Anyway,
Yep.
Okay. Here's my favorite tune. My
right.
son Charlie, of course, the marrying one, was the one who introduced me to it.
nice.
That's pretty.
Thank you. I love playing that song.
Very nice.
Well
That's
done.
by John Mayer, The
What is
Heart
it?
of Life, and
Nice.
it's great. I miss having lyrics with songs. I was listening to Bill sing that great song by James Taylor and Mark
Yeah.
Knopfler. I think, I miss they just add depth. I mean, instrumental music is great, and I love, like Randy, when you mentioned you and your wife, enjoying listening to just streaming stuff. It's like that's the nice thing about instrumental stuff, but I do miss lyrics.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're the spice of life. So,
Well
One
done.
of these days, you're going to sing something. One of these days.
well,
you're-
actually, that is true. I promised Ed that I had the new material tonight, and I had to bail out because it was not good enough. But I do have new material, and I'll go out on a limb and say that I am going to sing something.
Nice.
The last time I
Yay.
did it was on this show 2 years ago, I think. It was a
Wow.
long time ago. So. It's a song I should not try to sing, so because it's like out of my range and too difficult and not, So I'll, it'll be interesting.
Story of my,
What was it?
story of my
Randy,
life.
you were saying you were like leading us into the basement. This will be leading us into the musical basement.
Just do it. Just do it.
Looking forward to it. All right. Well, what else you got?
Let's see. I got this is a tune by Jonathan Edwards. He was the guy who wrote "Sunshine Go Away Today."
Oh, yeah.
Right. But this is a tune that is not well known, called "Sometimes," and it's about missing somebody.
Very pretty.
Very pretty.
Thanks, guys. I love
Nice.
playing on this show. This is like the highlight of my week. I mean, I'm starting to do all this. People, it's very interesting what sells for instrumental music. It's completely different kinds of gigs. It's not
Yeah.
clubs at all. It's like, hey, come play, and you play places and people come out of the woodwork and go, hi, I'd like to offer you a gig. And it's like, I don't have to call you 15 fucking times, and
Yeah,
thank
really.
you for
I don't have to catch the guy who's not here, but come in at 3:00 and maybe he'll be here.
That's
And when he is
exactly.
here, he's in a foul mood and he has no
Right,
time.
right,
And
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like they'll call you and you're done, and it's like and you can do every Monday afternoon from 3 to 8, or whatever, and you put out your the thing that you put your guitar in. Sorry, I'm losing it here. Case, and you go home, you hang out, you have a nice time, you play for 2 hours, and you go home with $150. It's like, this is kind of fun.
That works.
Nothing wrong
And
with
then the
that.
next week you get to do it again without having to beg for a gig.
Yeah,
That's
a
why I
beautiful-
got this. I can do gigs and make real money.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And
The
not to mention the chicks.
There it is.
Yeah, that's ukuleles. Yeah, chicks love ukuleles.
That's
yeah.
the move.
One rung
Yeah,
above
totally.
accordion. All right.
Speak-
So
speaking
before I
of-
bail, because it looks like they're really starting to do a good job on our friend, our Democracy Destroyer.
Oh my God.
You acoustic guitar players will be proud of me. So for Mother's Day, I got my honey 2 tickets to go see Gordon Lightfoot in Norwalk on Sunday, and that's what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
doing.
Wow.
What a guy. What a guy.
You know,
So, that
she's
is very
always
cool.
loved him from the moment I met her, and I did go on YouTube to look for some recent videos to see if the guy still had a voice, and he still has a voice. He can still sing.
Wow. Wow.
that's
That's
my
right.
big
He
thing.
had that low voice. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. I went to.
You know, that whole thing.
Are any of you guys
That's a pretty
familiar
good
with the
Billy Foster
show?
impression you just did right there.
That's right.
Are you guys familiar with the show Nashville? It was on. It was popular a couple years ago. They went on. Randy.
What's the other one? Here I go.
They went on tour.
Turn the page.
I'm just gonna drop out of sight slowly, and
Bye, boys.
it'll just be an empty
I'll leave
mic
you.
and
I'll leave you with
blackness.
that musical gem. It'll stay with you forever. Bye.
Oh my God. So
I
good.
still remember seeing it. Oh, there he goes.
We'll bring Kyle on. Kyle's
Hey,
hanging out.
Kyle's
Hey.
back. There
I
we go.
haven't seen you in a year. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing great actually. I finally got to work on the album, and so yeah, we're doing this. It's,
Yay.
I'm really happy about it. So,
And you're gigging. I see all kinds of ads for gigs for you.
yeah, I've been going places. I just played at the bar in North Haven. I think that was about a couple
Cool.
weeks ago. I think it was like it was a couple weeks ago, but it was fun. I had a good time. I'm
Excellent.
trying to get some more gigs going, but
Absolutely. Yeah, well, now's the time. So good to see you. So you got a song for us?
oh yeah, I got a couple.
Come on. Bring it
Excellent.
on.
So this first one's a cover. It's
All
called
right.
Enemy by Imagine Dragons. I think you guys have heard it on the radio maybe, but
All right.
let's get
What's
it.
a radio?
Oh, it's that thing. It's that thing in
It's
your
like
car.
Spotify. Is that like Spotify? Yeah.
Is that like Spotify? Yeah, I think so. I wake up to the song with the silence of the loudest. My mind's going around with my ear up to the ground. I'm searching to behold the stories that were told. My back into the world, smiling when I turn. Tell you you're the greatest. But once you turn, they ain't eyes. Oh, the misery. Everybody wants to be my enemy. Spare the sympathy. Everybody wants to be my enemy. My enemy. Words upon the walls, you're praying for my fall, and the laughter in my walls, and the names that I've been called. I stuck in my mind, I'm waiting for the time when I saw you were say, to spend my mind. Tell you you're the greatest, but once you turn, they ain't eyes. And they say, burn away. I swear I'll never be a snake, no way. A chair in the corner is no place to stay. I shake and think about the bars that play. And the kids in the dark who are doing the start the child in the basement. Fish the baby over the statement. Loves the basement, loves the constant, loves the bases. Licking up each, licking up each giant. Keep on praying. Goodbye. Oh, the misery. Everybody wants to be my enemy. Spare the sympathy. Everybody wants to die, my enemy. Oh, the misery. Everybody wants to be my enemy. Spare the sympathy. Everybody wants to die, my enemy. Right away. I swear I'll never be a saint, no way. Right away. I swear I'll never be a saint. My enemy. Yeah. Okay. It's all right.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Sound great, man. Nice to
Yeah.
hear you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I
Yeah,
always
that
felt like
was
the
awesome.
the greatest humanity in music comes out in that break between full voice and falsetto. When you go from
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
break is like really a heartstring.
You mean yodeling? You really like yodeling?
Yeah, I got the yodeling down.
Yeah. The woman upstairs is starting to get really pissed off at me. Yodeling and guitar and
Yeah, too much. And then,
yeah.
My God, that sounded great. You're gonna play original, I hope now.
yeah. I got one
Cool.
for you.
All right, excellent.
I'm gonna slip away. You sound great, Kyle and Bill. Love you, man. Ed,
See you, Will. Great
Ed,
to
you're
see
the
you as
best.
always.
Thanks always. See you next week.
Go for it, Kyle.
All right, let's do it. This song's called Late Night. I just finished mixing and mastering it a bit. I think I got to redo vocal takes for it, but
All right,
we're still working on it. But it should be fun.
nice.
So my art, don't wanna shower. Beautiful lipstick and your longer hair. You're the TC voice in me to paradise. Is this what it's like? Got me covered in the face, wrapped up in beautiful lies. Never been so lost in the night. Trying to sleep, but now it's midnight. I felt something real, now swimming. Free falling, no stop me stealing. Come back, maybe we were giants. At the right place, wrong time. Hey, baby, it's alright. At the right place, wrong time. Hey, baby, it's alright. Let it go, you say. The hardest part is forgetting your name. Trying to say it's just cause you're pretty, but every single word is saying I meaning. Too long to find this feeling. Guess we'll make it square one, baby. Is this what it's like? Got me covered in the face, wrapped up in a beautiful lies. Never been so lost in the night. Started sleeping, now it's midnight. I found something real, now I'm swimming. Free falling, no stopping this feeling. Come back, maybe we were giants. Took a hold of my soul. Now I'm lying on this concrete floor. Took a hold of my soul. Now my heart's gone cold. Never been so lost, sick of the night. Try to sleep. sleep, but now it's midnight. I felt something real, now I'm swimming. Free falling or something this feeling. Come back, maybe we were just at the right place at the wrong time. Baby, it's alright. At the right place at the wrong time. Baby, it's alright. Let it go, you say. The hardest part is forgetting your name. Okay, alright.
Yeah, it's all right. That sounded great.
Sounds good, man.
There's Jimmy.
Good
Hey,
stuff.
Jimmy.
Good stuff, Kyle.
Oh,
Hey,
You're
Bill.
probably
Hey,
doing
Ed.
Hey, Jim.
I was playing along. Sounds great, Kyle.
thank you.
Excellent. Kyle, that's fantastic. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
got
it's been a
any gig-
while.
Got any gigs to plug? Anything coming up shortly?
Who, me?
No,
I got
the other guy.
Yeah,
that
you,
guy.
Jimmy.
That guy.
That
Oh,
guy.
me? All right, so
Plug
I
it,
got
man,
another.
plug
I got
it.
another show in September, and also I'm dropping my first single on Spotify, Apple Music, and
Cool.
yeah, and YouTube Music as well.
That's great.
I've got a link for I actually got a link for the preload page for Spotify.
Oh, fantastic! Send me the link on
right.
Messenger, and I'll put it on the air for
All
everybody.
right, yeah,
to
no,
look at.
that's awesome. Yeah, let me grab it real quick.
Really good. So, Bill Nolan,
What?
you were patient and waited for. I had to get Will Baird on the road, but I think you've got another song for us, don't you?
I could.
I can
don't
tell you have.
I
You
don't
have
have
another
to.
one in you.
He's got that itchy finger look. Bring it on,
Yeah,
Bill. We
The
love
hook,
it.
the hook came early tonight. You know.
As well it should, you know. You ever seen a blind man cross the road, trying to make the other side? You ever seen a young girl growing old, trying to make herself a bride? So what becomes of you, my love, when they've finally stripped you of the handbags and the glad rags that Joe Grand had to sweat so you could buy? Once I was a young man, and all I had to do was smile. You are still a young girl, and you got everything in style. But once you think you're in, you're out. 'Cause you don't need a thing without the handbags and the glad rags that Joe Granddad had to sweat for you to buy. Sing a song of sixpence for your sake. Take a bottle full of rye. 4 and 20 blackbirds in a cake. Bake them all in a pie. Yeah. You told me you left school today, so I suggest that you throw it all away. The handbags and the glad rags that Joe Granddad had to sweat for you to buy. They told me you left school today, so I suggest that you throw it all away. The handbags and the glad rags that your granddad had to sweat for you to buy. Oh yeah.
Hey,
Oh, thank you.
That was great, Bill. I was playing along and loving it.
There you go.
Good stuff.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
so-
Kyle is sounding good. So I don't know if you guys know Kyle that well, but this is Kyle's. Let's see if I can push the right button here. For those of you who want to check out his first single that he's dropped, distrokid.com/hyperfellow/Kyle Mercado and Dream Girl. So go check that out. I'll leave up for a minute if anybody wants to, or you can just send me a message and I'll send it on to you. That'd probably be better.
I guess I missed the flashy shirt memo. I should have, hooked me up next time.
Oh, you missed the whole thing.
Yeah, the beginning was like a regular. It was like a slice of the Cher show, kind of.
Exactly.
A lot of costume changes.
Costume changes is right. Yeah. Wow. Look who we got. We got Eric, your partner in crime, Eric.
Ooh, Eric, dude.
Hey,
The real easy.
hello.
How's it going?
Hello.
Good, thanks. How are you guys?
I haven't seen you on the show in a million years. I think you had a
It's been
beard
a
last
while.
time.
It's been a while. I usually fall asleep around 8
Don't worry, we'll put you to
That's
sleep.
why I'm drinking coffee.
Actually, Will Baird was playing before. He was playing his song, whatever. And I already set it up. Like I found the recline on the chair, and I was like, I was gonna come back on the air like this, like. But then I thought, no, that's like he put me to sleep. But I meant like his music is relaxing.
So
That's what I
relaxing,
meant,
So
yeah.
yeah.
soothing, right?
That's what I meant, But I didn't do the gag because I thought, I could come across wrong,
Might take it the wrong way.
So I heard you guys had a fun gig at the Carmine's Deli a few days
did.
ago. How'd that
We
go?
did.
We did. It went well. It was an intimate crowd. It was our first full gig, so I think it was good.
With
The-
new
the,
drummer.
First time with a drummer.
Right.
New drummer.
And Sherry, we're
Caprelli.
of course talking about Sherry and Snap Crackle Pop.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Where is Sherry?
I don't know. I just sent her a note literally a second ago, and we'll see if she shows. She's sleeping. She fell asleep.
Yeah.
That's
That's what happens.
Lot
You
of
have
that
a
going
full day. You're up early. You work all day. You have something to eat. That's why Bill is smart. He waits till he gets off the show to eat.
Yeah. I don't like to eat before I play anyway. I don't like to eat before I sing. I don't like to do it. I don't know what it is. It's like jams up the pipes or something. I don't know what it is.
Stay hungry, they say, right?
There you go.
Exactly. So that was great, Bill Nolan. Nice rendition of that song.
Thanks.
I enjoyed it very much.
Good stuff. You have one more for us, Bill, before you go
Sure.
eat your mahi mahi or whatever it is?
Yeah, tonight it's going to be like sort of a lemon chicken thing and a salad and a something.
I'll be right over.
I hear you are singing the song of the past. I see no tears. I know that you know this may be the last for many a year. You'd gamble or give anything to be in with the better half. But how many friends must I have to begin with to make you laugh? Will you still have a song to sing when the razor boy comes and takes your fancy things away? Will you still be saying it on that cold and windy day? You know that the coming is so close at hand. You feel alright. I guess only women in cages can stand this kind of night. I guess only women in cages can play down the things they lose. You think no tomorrow will come when you lay down. You can't refuse. Will you still have the song to sing when the razor boy comes and takes your fancy things away? Will you still be saying it on that cold and winter day? I guess only women in cages can play down the things they lose. You think no tomorrow will come when you lay down. You can't refuse. Will you still have a song to sing when the razor boy comes and takes your fancy things away? Will you still be saying it on that cold and wintry day? Thank you. Yes, actually, I have a funny gig tomorrow. It's a private party in Greenwich.
Yeah.
Private party in Greenwich and out on Round Hill Road.
Nice.
Thank you.
Ooh.
And
Ooh, round hill.
there's
I
a
used to go there to work.
bunch of people, including a number of people who were in the Steely Dan band that still is out there, the Logical Pretzel thing. But I have to do a little crash course on a couple of songs tonight, because we wanted to do some Steely Dan tomorrow, and they do them all in the right key, so I'm not singing them. Somebody else is, but I gotta like bone up on a couple of the solo.
Yeah,
The
'cause you
solo
gotta-
to Josie, the solo to Peg. I have to like bone up a little. We'll see.
Yes, Steely Dan, great music, but it's demanding, right? You got to.
It is. I mean, I was in this Steely Dan band, and I had like the unenviable position of being the guitarist, and I just always I self-doubt just crept in like nonstop. I'm just sitting there going like, I'm not frigging Larry Carlton. I am not Elliot Randall. I am not, Rick Derringer, like whoever. But it got, worked on a different level. Like you're just taking a different level, treat it as a song, play, do enough of the solos so it sort of has like a mental key to it where people are sort of like, all right, you've played enough of it so you sort of recognize it. And then the listeners' brains will connect all the stuff you're not actually doing, And then you try to stick the landing to impress the East German judge, and then that's that.
That's it. That's exactly it. That is Steely Dan. I don't love playing Steely Dan because I love to improvise and sort of put my own mark on whatever. And Steely Dan does not call for that. Steely Dan is like, do it the way it is in the Bible. Like, exactly. Don't change a note. You know?
Well, if you can play it like the guy played it in the original, then you can absolutely take any license you want. But and the guy that is in that band now, Logical Pretzel now, he's really, really good, and he really, really, he has shedded this stuff like crazy. I just, that just isn't my approach, but that being said, it was fun to play. It's just, the bar is way too high for me to, I loved all the stuff that was.
Eric and I were in a band called Breakwater, and we did a couple of Steely Dan tunes, and they were probably the more challenging. It was Hey 19 and Home at Last, which compared to the other songs we played were very challenging.
And Dirty
Yeah,
Work.
Home at Last
And
is one of
Dirty
my
Work.
favorites. That's one of my
Mine
favorites.
too.
That's a great song, and I'll even play that solo. I mean, I'll play that in this configuration, which isn't a configuration at all. It's just a guy with a guitar. But I mean, that's one of the ones I like. But I like they have a lot of songs that are sort of acoustic-y kind of songs. That it's kind of before they started taking themselves too seriously. So there were songs that really, they play like songs you could play on a guitar and
chill.
You don't need Steve Gadd to pull them off. But
I know I've told this story on the air before, and I don't know who was on the screen. So my good friend who's a drummer, Steve Townsend, not Pete Townsend, Steve Townsend, a great guy. I don't know if you know him, Bill Nolan. Do you, Steve Townsend?
I don't know that I do.
From Darien, I think. A great guy, great drummer. I played a band with him called Blues Busters. And but anyway, so he was a big shot at probably still is at CBS, and he was at a CBS sponsored event, and all the celebs were there, big shot, big thing, whatever. And there's the Steely Dan table, and there's Becker and Fagan sitting at the table with their families, whatever. And he goes over and he's like a giant Steely Dan fan. So he walks over to the table, and he's got his badge on that says, Steve Townsend, CBS vice president, or whatever the heck it was, right? And so he walks over, and they're like, "Oh, hello, nice to meet you," right? He's like, "Oh, I'm a big fan. I'm a drummer, and I play your music." Whatever. They go, "My God, you should sit down and join us," right? So he's like, "Wow!" So he sits down at the table and he's chatting with them. After about 30 seconds, the Walter Becker and his people are like, "Oh, we gotta go. Oh, we'll be right back." So they take off, and then Fagan and his guys are like, "We got to take off too, but do me a favor and sit here and chat with my mother while we're gone." and they leave, and there's Mrs. Fagan, this like Jewish lady from Brooklyn or whatever, and she's like, he told me, she's like, "So do you like my son's music?" And he's like, "Oh God, I got ditched with Donald Fagan's mother." Like,
oh, but now she gets to pick his brain. I mean, her brain. That would have been funny.
Oh my God!
Hey, there she is.
Sharon.
I had a phone call. I'm sorry.
No, that's all
The
good.
queen of Snap Crackle Pop.
I sent her a wake up call. It's all right.
We still haven't figured out who's Snap, who's Crackle, who's Pop. I think I'm Pop somehow for the pop music, but I don't know who's Snap and who's Crackle. Those two guys.
That's a great name.
That's right. Snap, crackle, pop. Right. Oh, it's got to be an overhead snap, which is a choreography move.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I don't know. That was close. I just saw them both do it, and that was close. I don't know. They'll have to do it again, and Bill Nolan could say who did that snap better.
Exactly. The overhead snap.
Ooh.
All right, Jimmy, come on.
Eric.
Hey, mine's
Eric.
already on camera. I'm going with the videotape.
Come on, Jimmy.
Yeah, my friend Penny Moss. My friend Penny Moss is a Broadway choreographer who also had the honor of being the choreographer for a thing called Broadway Backwards, where they raise like stupid amounts of money for Broadway Equity Fights AIDS, and they do the thing at Lincoln Center once a year, and it's women singing men's songs and men singing women's songs, and it's very bawdy and whatever. And the two, she always showed me her choreography routines. She choreographed everybody in that show. And it was hosted by Florence Henderson and the Who's Who of Broadway, whatever. and she said, basically, you just do a lot of overhead snaps and ass grabs, like that. Those two things definitely that will save you comedically from anything.
That's there's words to live by right there.
There it is.
Put that on my tombstone.
Overhead snaps and ass grabs.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what
I
we
gotta get
remember
those
Bill
moves
Nolan for.
down.
I'm out.
Work on those moves.
So, Bill Nolan, are you going to hang or are you going to bail?
I'm gonna bail.
All right. Good to see you,
No,
Bill
I mean
it's
it's almost the witching hour, 9 o'clock.
Enjoy
your dinner,
You
Bill.
eat dinner. You can't eat
Enjoy
dinner
your
after
dinner.
9 o'clock.
All right. We'll be
Grab
right
a
back
seat.
with Snap,
Good to
Crackle,
see you,
Pop.
Sherry.
Okay, bye, Bill. Yes!
Yay,
Nice.
you.
Thank God that was in the key of C because I could play along.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I got myself a ukulele. You inspired me, Sherry.
Play something for us.
No, but I'm not playing anything. I'm like, I can play it, but I don't know songs, and I'm not going to say one of these days, and we're going to do something together, you know.
All right, yeah.
So I learned some
Lovely
Britney
bunch
Spears.
of coconuts. It's my favorite.
That's right. No, I learned some Britney Spears. We're going to do some Britney Spears
All
on
right.
the ukulele.
Okay.
You know how does it go? Like, no, I'm not
Hit
doing
me
it.
one more time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
Hit me, baby, one more time.
that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a ukulele trio.
Night. Yeah. Dave's gonna play the U bass.
So, how did your Carmine's gig go, Sherry?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I don't know. I defer to the guys. They could talk.
Yeah, no,
I had
we
a blast.
We
It
had a
was
great
fun.
time. Hey, look, they asked us to come back. They said, "Well, you guys can play here anytime," so that's a good sign.
Yeah,
You get a
the
sandwich
greatest
out of the deal? They give you a sandwich or
Yeah,
something?
Yeah, I got,
sandwich penne with
Right.
chicken and
Yeah, full meals. Yeah.
See, what did I eat? I forgot.
the food is good.
I had a hamburger. I had a cheeseburger and $44. Cheeseburger, beer, and $44.
Beautiful thing.
Great.
You live
And
on
I
that.
got to play for a few hours, and that's what I love
Right.
to do.
Yeah.
so.
What did I had? I had like sliced London broil and fries or something. And
Wow.
okay, so here's the thing,
Making me
right?
hungry.
I'm a Jersey girl. I cannot find French fries in Connecticut that I like because there's always some type of like breading or coating or something on them.
Wow.
And I like the steak fries, and that's what they had, and they were
Steak
perfect.
fries. They were great.
Wow.
I don't know. Do you ever notice that, Ed? I don't know why French fries are weird in Connecticut, or maybe you're just used to them.
I
But-
am not a French fry lover. I'm really
Yeah.
not. I never have been. Ever since the McDonald's took the beef fat out of the French fries for the Indian people, like that's
Connecticut, they're trying to be different. That's
I
it. They
still
just
like
don't want to be.
McDonald's.
They just don't want to be like New Yorkers.
I guess so. But
In
anyway,
Connecticut, they're cooking it in the same oil that they cook like the fish and chips in, so it tastes a little different,
Yeah.
or the fried chicken, that's what
they
they're
also
doing.
they had salmon on the menu. They had
Yeah.
chicken wings. They had
Actually, I took a picture this time.
salad. Yeah,
can
like they
tell
had
you
a Caesar salad, right? Dave had the chicken Caesar salad. Mike Cooney
You're making me
came.
hungry.
Yeah, Sarah Chesler came.
Oh wow.
Yep.
The appetizers: fried calamari, mozzarella sticks, teriyaki chicken wings.
Check.
They had
And the-
several different sauces you could get.
The penne
buffalo.
vodka you could have either with a
God, you're
chicken
killing
cutlet
me.
or shrimp.
I haven't had dinner yet. You're murdering me. I'm like,
It was-
"Oh,
I have to-
that's
I-
right."
I was saying it's the gig with the good food.
It is. The food's good. The food's good. And the people are great. The owner's great.
Yes, very
Yeah.
nice people.
When are you playing there again?
I don't know. We got to
we
figure
don't
that
have a
out.
date yet.
We don't have a firm date, but I'm
But
sure
this
if we.
Wednesday, July 27th, we are playing for Hump Day at the Sunset Grill.
Very nice.
Yes, East
Yeah.
Norwalk.
Acoustic trio. Just
The acoustic
just,
trio version. Just
Three
these
of us.
guys. Yeah.
yeah.
That's why I was working on with this bad boy. tonight.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. 'Cause
Nice.
We're gonna play some really cool acoustic variations of really fun stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I love Sunset. It's one of my favorite places. You know
Yeah.
what? I lived in Norwalk for 12 years.
Go,
And
acoustic.
we belonged to what used to be the pool club right next door there, and now it's an event place or whatever. But yeah, I love Sunset Grill.
And ironically, Jimmy's daughter lives right around the corner from us. Like she could see our house from her house.
Yep, Kaylee. Yep.
Yep.
Is she gonna
She
come
was-
to the gig, or is she gonna go to the movies to get
Oh,
away from you
she's
guys?
definitely. I'll bring her to the gig. She's definitely coming.
That's fun. I'll be there. I'll definitely be there. I'll have an accordion, on the back of my Segway. So.
Cool. We're gonna have fun.
You're gonna segue all the way down from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, absolutely.
And an accordion.
That's what you know what? I'm not even asking if I can sit in. I'm just gonna segue in with my accordion and like start,
It'll
moving
just look
around
like
the
part of
stage.
the act. Yeah.
We would love it.
That's the plan.
You got to
Oh.
wear the shirt you're wearing now.
Yeah,
Okay.
what happened? Weren't you wearing a tie at the beginning of the show?
It didn't happen. No, that was special effects. That's a new button I can push.
Okay.
No, what happened was
Filter.
so Bill Noman was wearing the best Hawaiian shirt I've seen in a long time, and I had this shirt on. And then Will Baird comes on, and he's got a vest and a white shirt, and he's just looking spiffy, right? So I'm like, we can't do that. We got to like balance it out a little bit. So I did a corporate opener, and but it just felt weird being
What
in a
about my
tie.
shirt?
And I wasn't smart
Naughty
enough.
girl.
I like that.
Wow.
Naughty girl.
That's really nice. But I wasn't smart enough to clue in. I took a peek in at the show before I came on. I should have realized it was fancy Hawaiian shirt type night, and I got my London guitar shirt on.
Very
I
nice.
think- I mean, if you
It's
knew
kind
that it was
of
gonna
like
be like
Hawaiian
fancy,
almost.
if you knew it was going to be fancy button down, you could have worn your judge shirt, your
That's
jersey.
right. Your new
My
your
judge,
Yankee
Judge. Although Stanton was the MVP of the All Star game. Now Judge is definitely my favorite. He's the best. I saw
don't
him the
follow
year he came
basketball.
up. Get out of here, you! Yankees are having a great year. Let's hope the second half's
Yeah. Cool.
a shadow of what the first half was.
Is that the
We
one
should
with
be
the
having-
ball and the stick? Like
Yeah, ball, stick,
yeah, I know that
diamond,
one, yeah.
run around. you
Run
know.
home. That's where you got to run home. Run home.
Yeah,
That's the one.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
Yeah, I don't know anything about sports. I got shipped off to Europe. We moved to Europe when I was at the age you would start to like sports. And then I get there and they're like, well, we
Soccer.
know soccer and we got,
Rugby.
Curling. And, I'm
No
like, what?
rugby.
What?
Yeah, I
Curling?
wasn't in that part of Europe. And so England wasn't Europe yet,
Right.
And,
And that's
so-
not again.
it's not yet. and so so then I came back to the States and I didn't know sports again. So I just went, screw it. That's it. I'll just be a musician, I guess.
I couldn't
Right,
help
why
it.
not?
Growing up in both my grandparents and my parents' home, if the Yankees were on, it was on the radio or the TV. That was it. It was on. So I became a Yankee fan. Played a little ball when I was a kid, but nothing, I was no serious player. But I don't know. Me and Eric really fell in love with it after college because it was a fun thing to do. We'd go sit in the bleachers. We were bleacher creatures there for a while.
Yeah. But
It was-
I remember going to my first Yankee game when I was like 7 years old. I've been a
Yeah.
fan ever since.
All
Right.
right.
But I'm born in the Bronx and family,
yeah.
grandmother in the Bronx. Same with Jimmy. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
have a
And
tie.
you're either a Yankee fan or a Mets fan, right? You're not both.
You're
Pretty
either
much.
a Yankee fan or
Yeah.
a Red Sox fan.
Let's put it this way. Eric and I usually go to one of the games at Citi Field when the Yankees play there because we like Citi Field.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Of course,
city.
we're rooting for the Yankees. If the Yankees were out of it, and the year was it 2017, the Mets went, the Yankees were out. I was rooting for the Mets.
So
I was pulling for them. You know what I mean? I even took my daughter to I think the last game of the season that year, and we had Yankees were out of it, and she was like 5 years old. I took her to the game. We had a blast.
I had what was it? Yeah, I was at game 1 of the World Series Subway Series. Was that 2001?
2000.
2000?
2000.
2000, yeah.
Yep. And so I had I was there at game 1, and it was just interesting because the fans there was no home game advantage whether they were at Yankee Stadium or Citi Field, which I think was Shea Stadium at the time, and it didn't really matter because it was
Everybody had their fans there in New York.
just there were diehard Mets fans and diehard Yankee fans, and then people who just wanted to see the World Series. So, but it wasn't like all Yankees fan at Yankee Stadium, and it wasn't all
Right.
Mets
There
fans
was no real home field.
there was no home stadium advantage at all.
You having an earthquake over there? What's going on over there in Norwalk?
Can't get comfortable.
Why is it so dark? I
I don't know. Turn a light on in your room. Listen, my dear, do you have a ring light? It's all about lighting.
You don't know
Ring
how
light.
much lighting. My cats are blind. I have so much lighting in here. It's crazy.
You gotta have a ring light.
So I know so little about sport. Are you guys hockey fans too?
Here, keep talking. I'll be right
A
back.
little bit.
I was a big hockey fan in college. I was in a fraternity that was the Union College. They have a great hockey squad. But I guess I could say if I was going to call a team I like, I'm a Rangers fan, but I don't follow it like I'm not fanatical like baseball. Baseball is this. When I was younger, I cared about football. I don't care as much about football. I was kind of raised a Jets fan, and that's, glutton for punishment.
There you go. So hockey. So this is my one of my only sports stories. I've told it on the air, but I don't know if you've heard this story. So I was dating this woman a long time ago, and she said, "Oh, you want to go to Florida because my friend is involved in there's a hockey team that they're opening in Tampa called the Tampa Bay Lightning. And they got like their first ever game." And I'm like, hockey in Florida? It sounds really dumb, right? Like, why would you have hockey in Florida? She's like, no, I don't know. But, my friend, I ride with his wife. I ride horses with his wife. And, maybe you want to go. I was like, all right, let's go to Florida. We'll go to Disneyland or whatever, Disney World. So we go to Florida. We stay at their house. And when we go to the big opening thing, and there's all these celebrities there, and he's there in a tuxedo. And he's like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. I'm like, oh, he's the MC for the show, whatever. So long story short, we go to Disneyland with the family, and the last morning, getting ready to go to the airport, he's down in the kitchen. I come downstairs, he's down in the kitchen, and he's signing hockey pucks. And I'm like, who is this freaking guy? Like, he's signing hockey puck. He's like, yeah, you want a hockey puck? And I'm like, sure, I'll take a hockey puck, whatever. I almost said to him, like, who cares about your dumb hockey pucks? So he signed a hockey puck and whatever. So I took it home. And I put it in my office. I didn't know what to do with it. So I put it in my office as a paperweight. And I was doing business.
And somebody saw it, right?
So I was doing, with the Canadians, right? I'm doing business with Canadian Airlines, right? And the guy sitting there, and he's chatting, and he looks and he goes, what's this? And I told him the story, and he goes, you stayed with this guy? So it was Phil Esposito.
Oh, really?
Who's like, I still
Rangers
don't know.
legend, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Ranger legend, like super famous guy. Still never heard of him, and he probably thought this guy is a cool cucumber. He is not asking me about hockey.
He's not asking questions or favors or anything.
So my friend told me he was a manager, and I'm thinking like the manager at McDonald's, like he's an accountant. But then I find out that the manager in sports is a big hairy deal to be the manager of a sports team.
Run the team. Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought it was like, do you want fries with that? So. Phil Esposito. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know any of these people.
I knew I met Willie Lindstrom, who was played with Ron Gretzky on the Edmonton Oilers when they won the Stanley Cup. I dated a woman.
He was there with like some supermodel wife that he had. Yeah.
I dated a girl. I was in my 20s. She was Ron Duguay's nanny. I don't know if you know who Ron Duguay played for the Rangers. Yeah. He was like the star for the team
with Phil Esposito.
Now he's a little younger.
Damn,
a little older. I mean, he was in the 70s. Esposito played in the 70s.
Right. Yeah. Right.
These were the 80s.
Who is this old fat Goomba living in Florida working at the manager of some team? I'm like, who is this guy? But they were very nice.
Only you, Ed. Only you.
I had no idea. I still have no idea. I tell the story and I'm like, Phil Esposito. And it was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So it's probably from New Jersey. So honestly, Sherry.
Phil Rizzuto from New Jersey.
Phil Rizzuto from the Money Store. Yeah. The guy from the Money Store.
Gotta get home to Cora.
There's a park near my parents' house that's Phil Rizzuto Park.
Phil Rizzuto. This is Phil Rizzuto for the Money Store, right? Like, that's all I know.
Holy cow.
He was my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Hey, listen, if you had runners on and you needed to hit, Phil would friggin' give it to you. That was the beautiful thing about him. Anyway.
And he played when? The 50s?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
40s and 50s, yeah.
Right. Because he was like old and hawking the money store in like the 70s. You know?
Right. Yeah. His broadcast career ended around 1990, I think, something like that.
There you go. All right, I'm going to play some clips. Jimmy
Yeah.
sent me a bunch of colorful clips. I've got 4 of them.
And I'm
loaded
sorry
up.
they're not in landscape, but I'll work on that.
That's okay. But so
Wait,
what we
are
have
all
to
these
do.
clips of Jimmy?
No,
I got some of us.
Okay.
I see you there.
Okay.
So I'm going to play one of those. So here's what you do, because it's going to be over here. Like the video's going to be here. So you have to lean like this. You have to like lean. No, the other way. Sherry and I go that way, and you guys got to go that way. You'll see what I mean. All right, here comes the clip. All right, that was it. That's the clip. Who was singing along there?
Jimmy's wife.
Jimmy's
Oh my
wife.
God.
My wife, yeah, that was from
He's
her
making a
WhatsApp
video.
status. That's why it kind of jumps.
Uh,
Is it takes little clips and it puts them together and it goes into your WhatsApp status. I don't know if you guys use
Awesome.
WhatsApp.
Ed, do you
Awesome.
remember we used to make vines at the Cobb's Mill Inn?
Oh yeah, I remember Vine. I was all over
I
Vine.
know.
And then they're like, no more Vine for you.
Dangerous.
God, a 6-second video. The master of the 6-second video.
That was
Gone.
great. That was great.
Well, now they have TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't do TikTok. I'm worried. I think they're gonna hack my Facebook
that's
or
what they-
something.
Yeah, they're stealing all of your data.
They're gonna
Yeah,
steal
I'm worried
everything.
about that.
They've got our data. Forget it.
Yeah, all the Chinese own Facebook probably, so they're gonna just download
Probably.
it all. The Russians, you know.
Zuckerberg's
I got one
just
more.
a puppet.
I got one more.
Okay.
Awesome.
I don't think I've ever sang that song the same way twice.
That was great. That was
I'm
my
really
video. You
sure.
could hear me whistling and along. My wife has another version of that with her kind of looking at. I was hugging her up as I was taking that video. It was great. I loved that. That was right at the end of the night. It was great.
that was fun.
Those are good. And now Sherry, like, so every once in a while I'm like playing at keyboards or whatever, and I look over my shoulder. There's Sherry, like
Yeah,
looking.
yeah.
She's like, if I just figure out what you're doing, I could play
can do
just
it.
like you. That's what you said. And so I'm like, now I'm like leaning in. I'm like, what chords is she playing on the ukulele? Like, what's happening there?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, Ray Simonelli used to call me Edna Train because I'm always trying to figure out how to play the keys.
That's it. And so now I'm going to be watching the ukulele. I'm
What
like,
drives me crazy about the keyboards is I know how to play the piano.
If you want lessons,
Hey, Bob.
we can hook you up.
Yeah, we're gonna trade some lessons. I'll give her some accordion
Oh my God, I would
pointers, and
love that.
you'll give me some ukulele pointers.
Yeah.
I'm waiting right now. I'm increasing my ukulele play is increasing like this every day. Right when I start to plateau, and I'm like,
2 chords, 4
I don't
chords,
know how
8
to
chords,
do. I don't know how to do that. How do I do that?
16
What do I do here?
chords.
Keep it simple. Bar, 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 bar.
Yeah.
You're gonna get one of those little mini capos for the ukulele.
Hang on, I'm gonna grab my ukulele. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Yeah, are you gonna show me now?
Oh yeah, hang on.
What the heck?
She's gonna show me now. Yeah, that's the trick. I can't play anything with strings. Bass, guitar. I'm like, I can go boom, or I can go strum some one easy thing. But ukulele, for some reason,
But
like
you've got the touch on the keys,
Wait,
Ed.
wait,
You've
you
got to
gotta
admit.
thank you. I appreciate that. But anything with a string to me is like, like
I can only do the fat strings.
Whatever,
Big
whatever
dead
you do.
guitar.
Ed, so
Big
Ed,
daddy
remember we
guitar,
made
yeah.
that Christmas video. You
yeah.
had everybody come and which one was it? It was the one with Billy Foster singing "Santa Claus Got No Lovin'" or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So one of my cover photos, I think, is me, you, Paul Fredericks, and Pierre playing like different instruments. And yeah, so you're like, why are you giving us the finger? Because I was like playing
You're like,
chord like that, and I didn't even realize.
Merry
Like, when I
Christmas.
You're like, why are you giving everyone the finger?
What chord is that? What chord is this? You know
The F chord.
exactly. F chord. That's a good name for a band. I'm writing that down. Ladies and gentlemen, we're the F chords. That's bad.
So, Ed, you've played with Sarah Chesler before.
Yeah.
You ever get a piece of sheet music from Sarah Chesler that has an H chord?
Oh, really?
An H chord.
She's from Sweden.
Yeah, they do that in Europe. They got like they don't have A, they have H.
They have H, yeah. So like,
Steely
you
Dan
know,
has a mu chord or something like that.
So you just, whenever you see the H, you go like that in your mind.
but like,
It's an
you
A.
guys met Sarah on Saturday night. Sarah's the one that came with the long hair. Our friend.
Well, you introduced us, yes.
Cool. Yes.
Yeah. So, but she used to work at Waverly with me, and she'd like have her songbook out, and I'd be like, "Oh, Sarah, I'm gonna try to play one of these songs in here." It was just like standard songs that I knew. I just didn't have the chords for. So I'm like, I'll just play it from Sarah's book, and it's like H.
What? I'm derailed.
So I want to. Okay, give me 1 second. Of course, I'm not.
Tell me
prepared.
what key
What
we're
are you
in,
doing?
please.
Oh,
She's
you're
looking
gonna
for
try
a
to
song.
play a song live.
she's-
You all know that doesn't actually work, right?
She's pulling up her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
I'm
we're
not.
not-
I'm not.
no,
I'm
I'm
not
not playing.
amplified or anything. I'm just gonna play.
Yeah, no,
for
no,
my
I'm
own
not.
end.
No. I'm just gonna play this by myself for a second, even though these guys know how to play the song.
Yeah,
So
by
this
the time you play a note, she's already like it's
Yeah.
a little out of sync. It goes
No,
all haywire.
we're
Yeah.
not-
Can't
we're
do
not-
I'm not gonna try that.
But this is but we do play this in our set, and it's "Kiss Me" by Sixpence None the Richer. So I'm just gonna show this to Ed, guys. Of course, it's so dark, right? So this is a D chord, D major, D7. So these are just. I mean, obviously, you know a major.
I don't know any of those chords. I don't even play a D like that. I play a D like this. I play a D like this.
No, you see, he
Sounds the same.
Just the finger. Yeah.
I don't go like this for a D chord. I'm like one finger.
Well, the thing with
This
the
is me on the D chord.
He's playing the F chord.
I can do an F chord, right?
So the thing with the D, right, like any bar chord on any instrument, is that you just move it down. Now it's D sharp. Now it's E.
Oh, so you're doing bar chords. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. But
It's
what's
the
cool-
easiest way to play things for me.
You got to show me how to
Only
do that.
you.
I don't know how to do that. you know?
Anyway, I'm just going up 3 frets. So anyway, just going from the major 7 to the 7. I love the beginning.
Such the verse.
And I'm just hammering D there.
Yeah, because it's just D, but it has these colors.
Yes.
Kiss me out of the bearded barley nightly beside the green, green grass. Swing, swing, swing the spinning step. You'll wear those shoes and I will wear that dress. So kiss me beneath the milky twilight. Lead me out on the moonlit floor. Lift your open hand. Strike up the band and make the fireflies dance, silver moon sparkling. So kiss me. Anyway, I mean, I play on your show all the time, right? And like, I'm so much better in front of an audience. I've never been able to play in front of a computer, but what's cool is just going from I'm just moving one finger, and the bar is staying where it is. And it's so easy.
All right. Yeah, I find it unusually easy. So I just learn a new chord, and then I'm like, all right, I'm going to go every chord I know to that chord. And I'm going to be like, oh, like, how do you like E minor to me is a freaking nightmare. It's like, it's, it's there. It's like, oh, God, I can't do it. This one, like, it's weird. It's a weird chord.
So actually, when on our set, I switch off between ukulele and guitar, and then we're hanging out in our garage playing stuff, and we're like, oh, maybe I'll play the guitar for this. I'll be like, oh no, I can't. It has to be flat. And
Don't do that. I'm sorry.
No.
thanks, Dennis.
There's Dennis watching. Where are you, Dennis? Come on the show.
Dennis.
Dennis, I'm not
Dennis.
sick anymore. I can hug you.
Yeah,
Now
this is the COVID squad except me.
No,
Yeah.
Miss Strong like burr.
We're all over it.
Dave was calling us snap crackle COVID.
I like Snap COVID Pop better.
No.
Better marketing guy, clearly.
Right.
That's phenomenal.
But so Ed, your hands are obviously bigger than mine. Do you feel like that's a hindrance in the ukulele?
No, I
or-
bought a tenor ukulele, so it's way bigger.
Yeah,
And
right.
that's why I did it. It wasn't some like, oh, I like the tone better of the. No, it was like it's bigger, so my hand fits on it.
If you like, even they have a baritone one. I actually got one from my son. which
Yeah.
my daughter
Yeah, but I
destroyed.
didn't like the baritone because
Too
you
much.
have to string it different. It's
You
tuned
do.
different. And I'm like, no, I don't want that. I want to
No.
play like
I
ukulele,
mean, Ed,
whatever.
I could have changed the strings for you, but that's okay.
I don't want to do that. No, I want to have it in a. So I guess mine just sounds richer, or I don't know. It's the
Sounds
same
a little
notes.
richer. Yeah.
Sounds nice.
Yep.
Deeper, yeah.
Yeah, what it blows my mind is you can get a nice ukulele for like not a lot of money.
Nah. You
know,
can,
you-
if you have like a 10, like Jimmy, your daughter's ukulele, right? Probably cost like $50, $60.
Yeah, I got it with, it came with the case and then a few nice things. It was like $100,
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was
How do you
a
do that?
concert uke.
How do you ship? There's like obviously an island in China or a city in China where they make.
It
they
came
make them
really
for,
well
like,
packed, and
They
it's
make them for
a
like a
nice
dollar.
case. It was a nice. The whole package was nice,
It's
and
really
it sounds
amazing.
great.
First of all, it's made of mahogany, right? It's like solid mahogany. It's got a tuner and it's got a plug-in, and it's got a strap, and it's got
Giraffe
the
is cute.
what's this called? The bridge?
Bridge.
The bridge.
Bridge.
What's that called?
Nut. It's a
The
nut.
nut. The nut and the bridge are made of bone. Probably like Uyghur bone from China, like for the people they execute, right?
No, that-
Oh, stop,
And
please.
then
God.
it's got
Please.
like
Don't go there.
it's got like an eagle on it, and it's got a dove for peace on the top of it. And it was like with the case, it was like $85. You go to like Sweetwater to buy a case, it's $85. Just
Right.
the case, you know.
Like Ed sends me a text with that picture, and he goes, "I have a ukulele. It has birds."
In it. It came with birds living in it.
You
Yeah.
think it was Paul Reed Smith?
There was a nest. You had to pull the nest out of
The
the sound
nest.
hole.
That's why it's so cheap. It's got a nest. They use it for breeding birds. Yeah. But I thought it was like it's really amazing, you know. So I'm learning. So,
All right, well, we'll exchange lessons for sure.
all right. I swear I'm having a lot of fun with it because I can pick it up. I keep it on the sofa next to me. I can pick it up when I'm watching Breaking Bad or whatever. I can pick it up and be like, C, A minor, C, A minor, C. Okay, now this one to this, to this, to this. And,
Yeah.
and I can,
Yeah.
and
The
I,
funny
that's
thing
how I
is-
get better.
My daughters, I took a stand, and both my balalaika and the concert uke now sit in the living room. So any one of us can just
Pick
pick
them
it
up
up
at any
anytime and fool around with them. I love that about it.
Kind of
That-
cool. Like,
They don't take up a lot of space
That was key for
compared
me.
to
Like
this thing.
to play more is to have the instrument set up and ready to go at any time, so you don't
that's right.
have to take
Yeah.
it out of a case or plug it in, or just have everything ready to go.
So,
That's the
Eric,
key.
where are you in your house right now with all these guitars and stuff? Are you in like a garage or?
No, it's an attic.
In
It's
the
a-
attic of the house, yeah.
Is it
Okay.
cool enough up there, or is it like
I have
blistering hot now?
there's an AC going in.
Oh,
the
yeah, good.
window.
And then so what? Like, see, I see 4 guitars in the background. Like, what's in there? You have like all your instruments up there.
No, not all of them. Actually, the black Stratocaster is someone else's. That's a permanent loan from my neighbor who his wife said he could only have a certain number of guitars, and he wanted like a heavy metal guitar. So he gave me the Stratocaster. You hold on. It was a gift. So he said, you can't throw it away and you can't sell it and you can't mod it beyond recognition, but you can just hold on to it forever. Just if I need it, I might need it for an hour or something like that. So, like my friend who gave it to me wants
Permanent
to jam.
loan. Yeah.
Yeah, right. The other guitars, that's a Telecaster. I bought that about 3 years ago. I've always wanted a Telecaster, and then Fender came out with a new line of like a entry level American made Tele that they launched called the Performer Series. And I thought it was a pretty good deal, so I bought it. Then the one next to it is a Gibson Les Paul Special. They call it a Special because it's not like a regular Les Paul. It's based on a student model from the 50s and 60s. So now they don't cost student prices anymore, but
Right.
it's a piece of it's a solid piece of mahogany, whereas a Les Paul is usually mahogany with a carved maple top. That guitar came with some robot tuners on it and a
What's
few other
that?
feet.
I remember when you first
What's a
got it.
robot tuner?
They
I want
automatically.
Few other features that nobody liked. Well, robot tuners were these tuners that automatically tune to the right pitch.
I want that. That sounds excellent.
It sounds excellent, but it was a pain in the ass.
Didn't
Well,
work.
it
We
worked.
got to get them for Ed's ukulele.
They worked, but then they just stopped working. They didn't.
I want
stop.
to get robot tuners for my auto harp. I want
That's-
36 of them
I'm
going.
putting that in my list. What a name for a band, the Robot Tuners.
I'm coming up with all the band names. So it was actually a 2015 guitar, but the 2015 guitars had these features. There was a few other features people didn't like, and so they didn't sell. And so that was originally like an $1,800 guitar. I bought it for like $579, brand
Right.
new, in 2017 because it was still sitting around from 2015 inventory. And then the other guitar on the side there, that's like it's called an Epiphone Flame Cat, which was just kind of a stupid impulse buy.
But it's cool as hell. I can see it from here.
Cool. It's
We
cool.
have in my little town here, we actually have like a pawn shop, where this guy sells old trains and musical instruments and what have you. And and usually it's like junk. It's complete garbage in there. Like the guitars have 3 strings on them. They're like, they're.
But you walked in and you saw that guitar.
I
And
saw
you're like,
that. I'm like, and it was
"That's it."
and like it was an Epiphone too. So it's like a decent
Brand
brand
name.
name. I mean, it's made in Korea, but it's still from a well-known guitar factory, and it's a well-made guitar. And I'm like, I have to buy that guitar just because the
It
fact
looks
that
so
it showed,
cool, number one,
and it
it's an
showed up in
Epiphone.
my town. Like it's like you would never like we didn't even see these guitars. They only made them for a few years.
Right.
So I'm like, I had to get it. I ended up doing some horse trading, so I think it cost me like an amp and an acoustic guitar and $150 or something like that.
Right. That's cool.
So the
And
Telecaster.
I have a couple other guitars.
And a bass.
Well, I have this actually.
I dropped off.
This one's is really my main guitar
Yeah.
that
That's
I've
the one
had
thing-
since 1991 when I first made enough money playing in gigs to be able to buy a good guitar.
What which one did you have at the Horseshoe?
That one's kind of heavy.
Which oh,
And then
Which
I
one?
have this, which is my acoustic.
which one did you have at the Horseshoe?
Telecaster.
The
Okay,
Tele.
that's what I thought, because so you remember like when my ukulele went out, and
Yes.
I was gonna be like, because I was like, oh, I could play guitar. I was gonna be like, oh, hey Eric, let me borrow your guitar. But
Right.
that was the first time we'd ever played live together, so I didn't want like Eric to be like, that's like my $5,000 blah blah blah, and I don't let anybody touch it.
Yeah, I don't have any guitars like that.
We don't have any like that.
I don't have any guitars that I'm
No,
afraid to.
please.
I don't have an Olympic Stanley Clark. No, I don't.
But Sherry, I think he got that guitar. It's got like some weird hole in it here, so it must be cheap. Like it's got some sort of
No,
like
that's a
termite
nice
got it.
guitar.
No,
That
but
sounds great.
at the
Termite
Horseshoe,
got it.
at the Horseshoe, Ed, when we all played together, he had that Telecaster. Is that what it
I
was?
had that one right there, the yellow one.
Yeah, he had the
White- off-white.
Telecaster. And I was like, when my ukulele went out, I was gonna be like, "Oh, Eric, hand me your guitar. I'll play it." Right?
Right.
It would have been a good shtick too.
It's like this is Jimi Hendrix Telecaster.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any guitars. If I had a guitar that I wouldn't want you to play, I
You
wouldn't
wouldn't bring it to a gig,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I have one guitar, a 1967 Fender Coronado, which is a hollow body guitar, which is pretty rare. It's not in great shape. Somebody painted over the back, so I got it for a cheap price. But
Like-
that's the one guitar I would
Like
be
watch this.
reluctant to bring out because I could never get another one.
Dave, can I borrow your 5-string bass? See that?
Nope.
You see what happened?
Yeah, when it comes to basses, it's like, even with my daughter, it's like, I'm buying you a bass you can play with. Don't touch mine.
I'm always teasing
And
you.
I actually, Eric has a jazz copy, a Fever bass.
Yeah, not
over there.
Fender, Fever.
It's not a Fender, a Fever.
Right.
But it's not bad. I mean, and like if I'm in the hood and want to stop by and jam, I always know there's a bass there. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, an instrument is an instrument. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a guitar is a guitar. A bass is a bass. right?
Fever.
The Fever,
I
yeah,
use it to you.
and if you can, that's the thing. If you can play,
Nice.
you're more likely to be able to play a crappy instrument and a good instrument. Whereas if you can't really play, a bad instrument's going to make you sound even worse.
Yeah. Well, when I first learned how to play the guitar, I don't know, 18, 19 years old or whatever. But I was so frustrated with it. And I used to buy like the cheapest guitars on the market that I could find in the store and try to learn from that. And then I'd end up like giving it to a friend because I'd get so frustrated. But I realized it's because, the action, on the cheap guitars. Like sometimes it's not worth it to get a cheap guitar if you're or any cheap any instrument.
You
if
got to
you're
get to a
learning.
certain level. Yeah.
Because like it's like learning how to play the piano on an out of tune piano. Like you're not gonna enjoy it. You're not gonna get. So like why bother?
Well, and that's the funny thing is there's certain things, at least for me as on a bass, that they're low cost and they have good quality. Like that Dean acoustic I have,
Hmm.
you can beat the crap out of it, and it holds tune and it sounds good. It's electric and acoustic. I've been lucky with this as well. The for me, the acoustic instruments, as long as you keep them humidified right, they're good to you. At least for me.
Hmm.
And I've been lucky. I used to have a Fender Jazz Deluxe. Those guitars are expensive, and I was like, tried the Sire. I don't know if you've heard about the Sire Revolution. Yeah, they make guitars and basses. And they had this Marcus Miller, who's a great bassist, was promoting them when they first came out. And I was following him on Instagram, and I was like, oh, well, let me check this out. So the V7 Marcus Miller jazz bass came out. It got rave reviews. I got it when they first came out for like $400. It's like an $1,800 quality bass for $400. Now they're like $800. That same, to get that same model.
Well, if Marcus Miller is playing it, then they're paying him money.
Well, I've had two jazz basses in the past, and I liked this one better than both of them. And one was the Deluxe Fender Jazz. Do you know what I mean? So they did something right. The electronics on it are incredible, and it's a solid bass. I was very impressed for the money what I got. So that's the other thing. There are some low cost options out there, especially if you're willing to pay attention to what the hell's going on.
Well,
I finally got a preamp. This thing is sweet, by the way.
That's up my alley. That's it. Electronics. I'm there.
But
yeah,
the quality of the overseas guitars has improved greatly. Like, 30 years ago, if you bought a Chinese guitar or an overseas guitar,
oh, they figured it out.
Yeah. Right now, like the quality is just as good as the America. They're using, CNC machines and everything's computerized.
Yeah, I got this bass. This is a Chinese bass.
It's just as good as the American.
It was a bargain. It was a total bargain.
Is that Austrian? That's an Austrian bass.
Yeah, that's from the Austro-Chinese part of China. Yeah, that's what that is.
Austro-Hungarian.
That's for the people that really sore armpits.
Yeah, and then of course there's this. I think I'm going to learn how to play ukulele because I'm not nearly annoying enough.
That's great. So you're finding the memes now. Oh,
That Dennis Allred sent me that. Just fellow bass player sent that in.
That's funny.
All right, so this is probably going to annoy a bass player out there somewhere if there's any of them watching.
Well, there's
it's
Jimmy.
not going to annoy just bass players.
So, well, then it's probably going to annoy. So on the whole other end of the spectrum, I want to know what makes a Fodera worth $9,000 because my boat wasn't even $9,000.
That's
Oh
a
my
hack,
God.
right?
I hope
I
Terry
have one of
Greens is
those.
not watching this.
I never even drove a car that cost $9,000 until I was like in my 40s. So what makes
I'll tell you,
maybe my 30s.
because the person who made it isn't making $3 an hour. It probably took like 100 hours to make the friggin' thing. It's only $9,000.
Right.
I'll tell you that
Derek Greens plays one.
I could never afford it, but that Alembic Stanley Clark version bass, that's like, if I ever have unlimited amounts of money and I can get any guitar I want, that I'm definitely getting that.
Well, at least you want to try it. At least, I mean,
I'm
audition
I'm not the caliber of player who would feel comfortable spending that kind of money on a bass, but sure, if I had unlimited resources, I would definitely have one. And then I'd hire a guy to show me how to play it like Stanley. No, anyway.
If
I can't slap for shit.
no, neither can I, and I never really put any time into learning.
Me either.
But
I'm a
just,
finger
like,
guy.
get to a point where I'm going to drop that kind of cash. I mean, I'm never going to buy a $9,000 bass.
No.
But Mike Lowell makes really nice stuff. in New York City, or maybe a Sadowski, and I think that's
Sadowski,
probably about as nuts as I would ever get.
Me too, probably.
Derek-
So when
Derek
you play
Reed-
those basses, are they like amazing? Like when you pick
Randy's
it up, are you
got
like,
one. I
"Oh,
got to
it's
pick it up.
amazing."
It felt great. I didn't really. He got to play my Rick, but I didn't get to play his. But yeah, Sadowski basses are great, and it's right here in New York. I'm. You know what, Dave? I think you and me need to plan the day trip for that.
Go bass shopping.
And me and Dad will play the ukulele.
Bring a suitcase of money with you and go down there just to browse. Yeah.
So the nicest bass I ever played. Well, so my teacher had a Padula that I played. That was a really nice bass, but it was fretless. The nicest bass I ever played in my life was at like a Guitar Center. Some guy had his Warwick with him, and he was trying out amps. And I just happened to mention. I was like, are they worth the money? He's like, oh, absolutely, play this thing, and it played itself. It really played itself. Like getting a really nice sound out of it was just
no
so
effort.
easy, right?
Yeah.
And that was probably the nicest playing bass that I ever played in my life. The action was perfect, and it just sounded great, and it was very easy to play.
For me, that's my Rick. It's the
I-
easiest of my guitars to play.
I played in a band with a guy, Preston Murphy, who you may have been to those gigs, right? For with JD Bonebreak and John Penny on drums, and this guy Preston Murphy on bass, and it was unbelievable. And he played a upright bass, double bass. Is that the same thing? Double bass, upright bass.
Yeah.
And his bass looked a little beat up. I'm like, you can't afford a better bass than that. It's like this bass was made in Tyrol, Austria, in 1711.
Probably
Seven-
costs more than my house.
1711. When he goes to gigs
Looks a
like
little
in
beat up.
California, whatever, he buys an airline seat for the bass,
For
and
the
it comes
bass,
on the
yeah.
airplane.
We went to go see the Stanford Symphony one time, and I think they had three bass players, and one of the basses, and well,
That's galore. More than one bass players is bass players.
There's two of
galore.
us. Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah. So what? So what
We're
about
talking
that bass?
basses. Uh-oh,
Stop
Dave.
interrupting Dave.
Don't mention strings.
oh, I finally bought new strings after 6 years. DR High
I'm
Beam.
not pushing that button. Okay. So
So anyway, during the break, one of the women, the bass players was playing. You could tell it was a very old bass, and I was curious as to just how old it was. So I actually asked her, during their break while she was like tuning up or adjusting her peg or whatever the hell those symphony musicians do, and
She was adjusting
she's
her
like,
peg.
never ask a lady how old her instrument is. She was busting my stones, but yeah, the bass is like 500 or 600 years old, or so. I mean, I'm sorry, it was like 300 years old or something. It was a really
It's
old.
insane, and those instruments, literally, they're hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
If you want a plywood, right, built this year, upright bass, it's like $4,000 or $5,000.
Right, for a K or something. Right.
Yeah,
just maybe on a
yeah.
plywood, yeah.
Yeah.
right, you didn't have some little Austrian man going.
Yeah,
For
for
a year,
like a half
you know?
a year, yeah.
when I was in undergrad, one of my music teachers was like, if you guys ever have kids one day and they come home and say, I want to play the oboe, they're like, just end it there. 'Cause, like,
Here's a kazoo. No.
What's wrong with the oboe?
oboe, the cheapest oboe is like $3,000.
Oh my God.
Isn't the oboe like the main
I'm sorry,
instrument?
not
of
the
the
oboe. Oh my God, the bassoon is
The
what I mean.
bassoon. Oh,
Oh yeah, that.
well, the oboe is like a little bassoon, right? It's they tune the
Right.
orchestra to the
It's
oboe.
a little bassoon. One of my interns plays the oboe. Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. It's a terrible thing.
Hey, wait a
What a
minute.
waste.
Before you get this.
Oh my God, he's going to get some new strings for the bass.
Look at these half rounds. That's
what
cool.
in the world am I
Oh.
looking at?
I
Mac.
saw that when I was at his house.
That is-
It
My
looks
my friend Paul Seletsky, who was my big brother in college, came to visit a few weeks ago, and he's an illustrator, and he made this for me.
I love it.
Isn't that cool?
that's
That
very
is really cool.
I love it
It
too.
looks like Max from Where the Wild Things Are.
Yes, it does.
That's
And
what I get too. Yeah.
yes, but it's Batman. It's his imagination because I told him one of my favorite characters was Batman, and we've been friends since I was a younger guy, and so he imagined me as a kid. And it's funny because
You are,
lately
Jimmy. You are a kid.
I am. I'm a big kid.
He
I feel like I'm 17 again. I mean, so
Good.
it was perfect. It was perfect. Thank you, Paul, and I'm going to tell him that I showed you guys.
Jimmy is the perpetual kid in a candy store.
I am. I'd like to have fun, and I mean, what else are we going to do? I love enjoying each other's company, and I love music, and hey, I'm determined to have fun.
Absolutely. So wait, so where are you playing next,
yeah.
Jimmy?
I'm
Plug
playing
your
next
gigs.
with my band Happy Lane, which is a 90s grunge band at the Horseshoe in Southport on Monday night. We're opening up the evening. So come around 7:15 and it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. And then we've got Snap Crackle Pop acoustic at Sunset Grill on Wednesday night for the whole night, baby. And Ed's gonna be there.
I'll be there. I'll bring something. I'll bring an
It's
accordion or
gonna
my
be a
little
lot of
organ or
fun. And then
something.
the last one is Hot Pizza is doing what's it called?
Is that Carmine's?
No,
No, it's like a festival or something.
it's a festival. It's called, here, let me get my gig schedule since I have so many gigs. It's called the Abelli Park Jam on the Lake in Putnam Valley. We're
Very
playing on Sunday the 31st, and we've got the prime spot from 8 to 9.
Wow. And what kind of music is that again?
It's all original. It's a rock trio that I'm in with Chris Manell, and another guy.
We met him. He was at Carmine's.
Pop-a-billy.
Yeah, he plays drums for Band of Brothers. He was the drummer for Breakwater.
Well, no, Cap is the drummer for Band of Brothers, but
Well, he's been filling in for Cap.
Filling.
Well, Kip is, it gets confusing. You're right. He's been filling in for Cap and Band and Brothers, and Cap is playing
Cap
with
is our
Snapback
drummer
Pod.
now.
Right,
And
our drummer now.
Robert Caparelli.
Yeah, he's our drummer, and he's
Yeah.
like the nicest person. Yeah.
Chris lives up in Cross River, and he's got a really nice studio set up, like 16 track, and he's got video set up, and it's a great place to rehearse. And so for I don't know, about 4 or 5 months, we were practicing almost every week as Hot Pizza. And then I had all these other projects come up, and Hot Pizza got pushed to the back burner. And we've had a couple of practices, and when you've practiced that much, the songs come back like that. And they're all original, which I love. I love playing original music. So excited
That sounds
about
great.
that.
Yes!
Yay! There he is.
Let's talk about strings.
Those are the strings Dennis promised to give me. Next time,
This one right here.
are you going to come Wednesday? You going to come see us at Sunset Grill? Bring the
Yeah, I'll have to.
strings.
We'll see.
Dennis,
I'll
we're
be there.
not sick. We're not sick anymore. We
We're
can
What
not-
are
help
those
you.
called?
Not
Those
sick.
strings are pure blisters? Is that what it's called?
No blisters.
Pure blues.
Oh yeah, pure
He
blisters.
was telling
There
me
you go.
about those, and he's like, "I got a set for you, Jimmy," and so
Yep,
we
that's
got
that right there.
I use
gotta
that brand for
definitely hook up.
guitar, actually.
Yeah, I love the DRs, but
Yeah, I just bought a set of high beams.
oh, cool. Yeah.
And so, and I don't care about strings at all. I really don't. I don't change.
Half
My
round.
last pair of strings-
half rounds.
last pair of strings I had literally for 6 years. I finally changed them because they were finally starting to get a little black. Like
Oh,
I'm pretty fastidious about keeping my hands clean when I touch my bass. So my strings last a long time. I love the Dario XLs. I've used those for years and years and years, but they didn't have any for a 5-string at Guitar Center.
I got them for
Amazon.
I got them for the 5, but they didn't. It's not like they had them. I went there, they didn't have them. I looked online, they didn't have them. I was so lucky. I walked into Sam Ash one day, and he had a set. I was like, Give them to me.
I have lost control
about
of my
me.
show.
It's all about bass strings, man.
All this.
It's all about that
So-
bass.
so has
that
anybody
bass.
Bass,
tried
got
the-
that bass, no trouble.
Anybody
Oh my
tried the
God.
coated ones other than elixirs? The like the neons?
Oh wait, where's my Ernie
Oh
balls?
my
Where's my
God.
Ernie balls?
Oh, yeah,
I don't want to know where your Ernie balls are.
All right. Bass
But
is
I'm
a bass.
Tesh. All right, we're getting giddy here, Ed. I think I need to sleep.
Oh
Well,
my
we
God.
We have to wait for Dave to return with something. I
Oh,
don't
There you
know.
go.
we
So
got
what's the
strings?
difference between a boy snowman and a girl snowman? Snowballs.
Snowballs.
Oh,
I think I got that from your dad, Sharon.
Sounds about right.
every morning, my brother sends a text to like me and my dad. He's like, "Dad, stop!" He's like, "You just did 9 posts in 2 hours."
Stop.
I'm like, Scott, he's having fun. Like, who cares? It's
Oh,
Scott-
I wish my mom would have done that with Facebook. I wish
Yeah.
she had gone nuts with it.
Scott, my brother tells me I'm the nicer child. He's like, I think it's too much. Like my friends all find him funny.
No, I am truly like I am a troll on internet for your dad's jokes. Like your dad posts a joke, I immediately have a comment. Like I immediately hijack the
You're
post.
like me. I've been doing the same thing.
Yeah,
I see his post and I gotta post a link to a song that it made me think of or something. I like your dad's post.
Yeah, Ed, Jimmy, and Eric are always like his top posters.
Yeah.
Commenters. Dennis, I'll have my dad send you a
Followers.
phone request so you can get in on it too.
Okay.
All right, so this is just for Ed. So people are very particular about their bass strings, and I am not. And so people try things and don't like them, and then they give them to me. So I'm sitting on. I got a brand new pair, Roto Sound swing bass.
Steel.
Nice.
Swing bass. Oh, so like if you put those on, immediately you'll start playing swing music,
Yeah,
right?
you start walking bass.
Can't see what that is.
Mercury Blue Steels.
Okay.
Yeah.
These
Ouch.
look
Nickel.
these look fancy. These are
Ouch.
the Stereo XL New Yorks or some shit.
I've never seen those.
I got some
Yeah,
ukulele
I've seen them
strings
before.
around here somewhere. I, you know.
Dave, we might have to barter for those New York
Uh,
XLs.
And then yeah,
Oh, that reminds
Oh,
me. I
not
was
the
going to
Elixir.
bring this for you tonight.
It
was
must be electric.
I was going to bring you a stand. It's actually because you can it's easy to pull out and you can adjust it based on what kind of guitar you're using, a jazz bass or
I'm a Kurt Mangan man.
yeah.
Yeah, but Eric, what kind of modular synthesizer cables do you use? Do you use the color, the Hosa?
Oh, yeah,
I have
definitely.
one of these.
We have one of those.
I got
Yes.
blue and white.
Oh my
Wait,
God!
so here's
Ho-
what I
I-
don't
Those are
understand.
almost
Hosa,
like strings.
Hosa cables all the way.
There you go. That's the way.
So Dave just showed you
Amazon
like
Basics.
a bunch of packages of bass strings, but like 2 weeks ago, he's like, "We need to go to the Guitar Center so I can get strings for my bass."
But none of those were the right ones.
None of
Those are all
the
fours.
great ones.
I didn't know we had.
Well, no, those were the soprano
like
string
$500 worth
basses.
of
He
bass.
has a soprano bass and he also has a baritone bass and then a bass
Right.
bass. So he's out of the bass string. That's why you gotta go.
And
He
is
does
it
have a
nickel or
bass
stainless?
Well, where's your bass?
Did you have to take out a loan for those strings?
Oh my God. Alone is the operative word. Alone.
These were given to me. Like Todd.
Oh, I
Joyner-
know those were. You know what I mean. Guitarists, you know,
Yeah.
we don't have to change ours as often, but they make us pay for that.
Yeah.
Todd Joyner.
Were they really expensive?
Todd, no, these are all cheap strings. They're, standard.
Those
price.
are, but
But Todd Joyner
Cheap
changed
for bass strings.
bass strings like every 10 minutes.
I
And
do.
then he's like, "Here, I don't like these." And then I think
Takes a while to break them in. I mean, a good pair of strings lasts at least 6 months to a
Wait,
year.
So you could
I
gotta
take
tell-
the bass
I gotta
strings
tell
off
Ed-
and put them back on. Like
Boil them. Okay, so do you boil your strings?
Worth. 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 Best ukulele strings ever.
You don't have to restring this ever. If they said it's like a lifetime guarantee on the string. So
And they
Like the cat
came
that-
with an extra set of strings with mine.
they
and
never
a
go out of
tuner.
tune either.
What if I put bass strings on the ukulele? What happens then?
You'd snap the neck,
Probably snap
probably.
the neck off. Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't be
Oh
able
my
to pick
God.
it
I
up
didn't even
anymore.
imagine that happening.
Strings are way more than the ukulele.
Yeah.
Oh my God, crazy. All right, you guys, that's the end of Jam TV for this wonderful show 117.
Base rules!
I will
Base
be
rules!
seeing each one of you at the Sunset Grill on Wednesday night for
Wednesday
Snap
night.
Crackle and Bop acoustic trio, and great to see you guys.
Be there or be square.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
That was quite a show.